competitive pay for our skilled labor force. If you want to be part of a thriving school system that focuses on educating students, growing our employees, and promoting positive mental and physical health initiatives, we encourage you to become a part of our Pitt County Schools family to help ensure success for the future of Eastern North Carolina. To fill out an application, visit our website today at pittschools.org. That's pittschools.org. And remember, education is truly a team effort. Pitt County Schools. Live and lead. The Sidebar is the place to be this summer in downtown Greenville. Have a date night or get the family together for dinner starting at 5:30 Tuesday through Saturday. Or take a break from work and enjoy the tastiest food around for lunch Thursday through Saturday from 11:30 to 2:30. And on Sundays, enjoy a delicious summer brunch from 11 to 2. Visit the Sidebar today, located right beside the Dickinson Avenue Public House. To keep up with their ever-changing menu, food and drink specials, and more, follow the Sidebar on Facebook or on Instagram at sidebar.greenville. Go Pirates!
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington.
Can you be quiet, please? Thank you.
Welcome to Pirate Radio Live.
Ty?
Hi.
Ty?
Clip. Hey, man, good to see you, brother.
He's a cool cat, man.
Superstitious beers. Superstitious beers.
I got a little taco meat on my chest.
I grabbed a handful of lunch meat and shoved it down my teammate's throat.
I'm a former long snapper.
Booty, 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 booty everywhere.
At the Burlington... I have no idea what the just happened.
Did not flub at all. Send it in.
Now live from the Pirate Radio studios in the heart of the Pirate Nation, here is your host, Clip Brock.
Welcome in to Pirate Radio Live here on a Friday. Another hot one here in Eastern North Carolina. We're excited to be with you on the program today. We'll have a lot of fun and we'll talk a lot of sports on the show. A lot of stuff to get to, and including ECU news and notes regarding Pirate basketball. Got a little football, got some baseball nuggets as well. So a lot coming up on today's edition of Pirate Radio Live on Pirate Radio 92.7 FM in Greenville, 104.1 in Washington. We're on 1250, 930 online, pr927fm.com. And we'd like for you to watch the program and be a part of our program today on Facebook Live and on YouTube. What's on your mind on this Friday? Again, we're going to discuss the big three at East Carolina: hoops, baseball, and football. And want to hear what you think about those sports at East Carolina and the topics we're going to hit today. We've also got guests to get to, including Brian North, WCTI 12. We'll talk to him about what's going on here locally and beyond when he joins us in about 25-30 minutes or so. Hour 2, Tony Dunn, C3 Podcast, will join us. Joey brought up Cam Newton's Hall of Fame eligibility and if Cam is a Hall of Famer. We will briefly talk about that with Tony because he is a Cam apologist. Cam could never do any wrong in Tony's eyes. In fact, sometimes I'd try to get him to just say one thing negative about Cam Newton, just to see if he could do it.
What is there bad to say about the Superman Cam Newton?
He dresses funny.
Little style, little spice.
That's the voice of Joey, who has not been introduced yet, Joey.
I'm so sorry.
It's apology accepted. Shirley Rhodes is here. Let me go ahead and introduce her as well.
What's up?
And she is eating something that looks very good over there.
It's a bundt cake.
Also on the show today, Mark Greenhelge Golf Shop Radio Show, less than a week away from the, I don't call it the British Open because I'm classy, the Open Championship. That is what you call it, not the British Open. If you say the British Open, you're some sort of novice. I'm a golf expert, so I call it the Open Championship. Coming up at 5 o'clock today, Morgan Ahlers will join us. Holden Ahlers was dropped by the Pirate Radio studios yesterday. Got a 2 or 3 minute chat with Holden that we'll run today that we put out on our social media sites. And we'll play the interview from earlier this week with Josh Grosz. Some of you may have already seen that on YouTube and Facebook. Haven't given it to the radio audience yet. So my chat with Josh Grosz, who, by the way, was texting with just a moment ago, and he has signed the dotted line So officially a part of the Yankees organization. He said he signed this morning. So congratulations to Josh. Planning on hooking up with Josh Moylan sometime soon, and also going to reach out to Tyler Brott and Landon Ginn. Landon Ginn reportedly signing a free agent deal. Bad news for the Pirates, good news for Mr. Ginn. So hopefully we can catch up with him next week and talk about him moving on to the next level. I believe the Cubs.
Yes, he is a Cubby.
Go Cubs, go. Landon Ginn. So awesome stuff for ECU, former now baseball players. Another note on a former baseball player in a moment for ECU, who I also have been in contact with today, and we'll get to that in a moment. But we do. Well, first, let me welcome our online folks. See what's going on there real quick. Pike is listening in from North Myrtle Beach. What's up, Pike? Jamie says tough week for baseball, losing a lot of good players. I guess, but man, it's a program. It's going to replenish itself. It's fine. Cliff Godwin, it's okay, Jamie. I feel like you've been negative lately, Jamie. What's going on with you, man? Let's pep it up a little bit. Your Reds are in first place. There's something positive for you. Brandon says, good afternoon. Getting packed up so me and my family can head out to Charlotte tonight. Going to go see Luke Combs tomorrow night. All right. Enjoy that, Brandon.
In a fast car.
Yeah. As I said earlier in the week, when I was driving around with Lily this past weekend or last week or whatever, was flipping around the stations and the popular music stations that she enjoys. And I swear in like one afternoon trip out for a ride, I heard Fast Car, not by Tracy Chapman, but from what I understand, Luke Combs, who has made that song popular again.
That is correct.
Yeah. And I mean, look, it sounds good. What's your favorite cover of all time, Shirley? You're very musical.
Name
what comes to your head.
Gosh,
I'll name
Running Up
one.
That Hill. It was originally done by Kate Bush, but a band called Placebo covered it, and I actually thought that Placebo did. I thought that was an original. I did not realize that Kate Bush had sung that song back in the 80s.
Well, Shirley, do you really like it, or do you think it just might be the placebo effect?
Oh,
thank you. Yeah, I mean,
hold on.
That was just,
You are terrible!
what's that face, Joey? What kind of face are you making over there?
Just looked up a list of the best covers.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought you. Okay.
And the one you're looking at right now is an excellent cover, by the way.
Shirley.
I Will Always Love You, Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Great. That's, yeah. How about this, Shirley? This might be, boy, sacrilege, especially to folks who listen that are of our certain age. But the Atari's version of Boys of Summer, I like
that
more
version.
than the original.
Yes, I like that version.
I'm sorry to say
way
that.
more than the original.
Okay, so you're with me there.
I am with you on that one.
If you're with me, I feel a little more confident and comfortable.
I will tell
about
you
saying
another
that.
one that's very, very, very close to the original. Like, you could almost say like it's 1 and 1.5. And that is Alien Ant Farm's version of Smooth Criminal.
I was going to bring that up because
It's very close.
It's almost impossible to make a Michael Jackson song better than it is.
Right.
But
It's very close.
I think they did a good tribute to it, and I think a lot of people would agree. It's pretty dangerous to even dangerous. Is that a Michael Jackson?
Dangerous. Yes.
Dangerous to even try to do a cover, but like they did it. They certainly did it justice.
It was a good jam.
All right. What else is on that list, Joey? Anything? Are you done with the list?
Now, I don't know if he performed it. I know he wrote it. But Prince wrote Nothing Compares to You.
Sinead O'Connor had an amazing version.
Yes. But I don't know if Prince ever performed that song.
Right.
But that was the first one that popped into my head, but I just wasn't sure if he ever performed that live.
Another one says Aretha Franklin, Respect.
Did you say respect?
Yeah.
Well,
just a little bit.
Great respect to what a segue this is going to be to the ECU basketball program. Big news today as former Texas Tech head coach Mark Adams will now be joining the ECU basketball staff. And you bring up the word respect. We'll talk more about this in a moment. But I got great respect to Mike Schwartz and this basketball program with what they're doing right now. And if anybody knows anything about respect, Shirley, it's Mike Schwartz.
Just a ton of respect for Campbell and their program and their coaching staff. Ton of respect for Coach Dixon. Ton of respect for Coppin State as a program. Great respect for the High Point program, Coach Smith. Great respect for Temple, their program, Coach McKee. Great respect for Coach Dawkins and the Central Florida program. Great respect for Coach Gregory and South Florida program. So much respect for Rob Lanier and the SMU program, their coaching staff and their players. Incredible respect for Wes Miller and the Cincinnati program, their basketball team, their players, their coaching staff. I've always had great respect for him as a coach and their program. Respect for Coach Sampson and the Houston program. Respect.
RESPECT.
A very respectful man, Mike Schwartz. Great respect to Coach Schwartz, and boy, this is a big deal. Had a lot of folks talking in the Pirate Nation as Mark Adams joining the ECU basketball staff. Now, why would a head coach at Texas Tech be available to join the ECU coaching staff? Well, he was suspended and then resigned from Texas Tech following their season. So I don't know the whole story here. I just know what was reported. There was an incident that occurred in a meeting with a player, and they did their research on it. The school announced and came out and said that Adams was encouraging the student athlete to be more receptive to coaching and reference Bible verses. All right, nothing wrong with that, I guess. About workers, teachers, parents, okay, and slaves serving their masters. Oh, there's okay. Now you had me in the first half. Slaves serving their masters,
Dude.
This is more of a PSA. I see so many times, like politicians, like people in the media, I guess, people like talking heads, anybody making references to things like slavery and the Holocaust, and it's just it never goes how you're going to think it's going to go. Even if you have good intentions, there's a million analogies out there you can make.
Yeah.
Just so many.
They're a lot safer.
There's no reason to go to things like slavery or the Holocaust. It never works out the way you think it's going to, even when you have good intentions. Some people that make these analogies have bad intentions when they say those analogies. But a lot of times I see somebody's trying to make a simple point, and they use those things to make that point. For whatever reason, every time I see it, it never works out. So that's just more of a PSA. Unless you're a professional comedian, and even then, you better hope it lands and hits home. Yeah. But probably just best to stay away from some of those topics. But that is, and there were, I guess, other incidences as well. There was apparently a racially insensitive comment that was unintentional and an isolated incident. I'm reading the story on NPR here of when Texas Tech and Mark Daniels went their separate ways. But he is known as a defensive coach. Is Reggie Williams our offensive coach? Because Mike Schwartz is also a defensive coach. Who's our offensive coach? But man, that is a lot of wins, a lot of history, and a veteran on the bench now for ECU basketball. So some big news today with Mark Adams joining.
Here that he got a nice little severance pay from Texas Tech too.
Yeah, so he's might see him at the local golf course around here, playing some golf here in Greenville, and hopefully we can get him here on Pirate Radio at some point. Jerry says respect for Pirate Radio. He said love the positive energy coming from Coach. Jerry said earlier we need some nice radio today.
Well, I mean, it is Friday.
Oh, good grief. Jamie said I didn't realize that I was being negative earlier. I was simply stating the obvious. He then said my dog died unexpectedly this week. So easy to see the negative, I guess. Well, Jamie, that's a great example. We don't know what's going on in everyone's lives. And Jamie, I'm really sorry to hear that. I'm sure he was a good boy / girl and a great friend and a great companion. And you know what? You're sad now, but you got to think about all those great memories that you two had together. Jamie also said, I have comments on Adams as well, but I'll hold those. Okay. It's a tough one for Jamie. Jamie, I tell you what, stick around. We're going to talk sports. We're going to brighten your day here at Pirate Radio. That's what we're going to do today. Great respect to you for hanging out with us here today. Steve on the cover front says, Proud Mary, Ike and Tina Turner. So is Proud Mary a Creedence song that they did? Or does it even go back further than that?
Oh, that's a good question. Hold on. Let me find out.
Here's a good one. Steve says, Hurt by Johnny Cash. You know what's crazy? I don't even know.
Alice in Chains? Or is it Nine Inch Nails?
I don't even know if I've ever heard the Nine Inch Nails version, but I love the Johnny Cash version.
Yes, CCR did the original Proud Mary.
Okay. And then Tina got up there and gave it some energy.
Oh, she took it to church. That's what she did.
All right. So, if you got a favorite cover song, let us know that's better than the original. Anything else in the chat before we move along here on this Friday? Robert says, where do you think Pat Fitzgerald will be coaching next? Probably Alabama. Isn't that where all coaches that something happens and they're let go end up? He'll be at Alabama, Georgia. Maybe. Does he have any NFL background? Like maybe with Belichick or something? Let's see where Pat Fitzgerald. Seems like he went from a Northwestern player to their coach, basically.
Well, I saw a report today that Belichick might even be on the hot seat this year. Can you believe that?
Okay. All right. Hold on.
Repeat the question the original question that you have presented.
About what we're talking about right now?
Yes.
Where will Pat Fitzgerald end up?
Okay.
Joey, you saw a report. Now, is this some of your sleeper stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. And it said what?
And it's
Bill Belichick's on the hot seat?
Or like
get the hell out of here.
It could be on the out for I just cleared my notifications.
I'll just say he makes his choice when he's ready to step down. Bob Kraft is not going to fire Bill Belichick. If Bill Belichick's ready to go, he'll go.
Okay, so you think it'll be a decision on Belichick's half more than Kraft?
Yeah, unless he goes like 0-16 3 straight seasons, I don't see there's any way Bill Belichick ever gets fired.
I think he gets fired if they don't make playoffs this year.
Okay.
Just because Kraft wants to Kraft seems like the type of owner who wants to continue that type of legacy and dynasty era. And because he knows it's falling off, he's got to make a splash now. And why not make a splash when you have so much cap room next year?
I appreciate you being here to make me look smarter than I am. And I'm not the dumbest person here. So I just want to say great respect to you. I don't know, man. I hear you, but Bob Kraft is also very family. Does a lot. We had Tony Collins on our show forever. Why has Tony not been around? He made a move, but we'll get him on via the phone when football rolls around. But they love their alumni. He just seems very, and I mean, we're talking about the greatest coach ever. I can't see it. But young Joey, you might be right. I might be wrong.
Business is brutal, you know?
It is. That is a factoid. All right, so Fitzgerald went from playing football at Northwestern in 96 to joining them as a coach in 2001, GA at Maryland, Colorado, Idaho. So he has not been in the NFL at all. So, yeah, he'll end up somewhere as an assistant for 1 year and then probably take over another big program. Robert says, go to hell. Get a job.
Go to hell. Get a job.
Thank you, Robert. I'll always play Tommy Tuberville when we need to. Chad says Tina Turner put that stank on it when it comes to.
Oh.
Now another one from Robert, and I believe another one from Tina. Rolling on the River. Is that a cover by her?
Oh.
Because the big wheels keep on turning.
Hold on. Wait, 1 second.
Never mind. It's the same damn song.
I was gonna say That's why I was like, I thought "Rolling on the River" was Proud Mary.
It's the line right after it says "Proud Mary." Okay, sorry, I messed up there. See, Joey, I'm the dumbest person on the show. It doesn't take me long to reclaim the crown, so I'll take it right back. Let's see. Chad says, "I swear, all for one." Okay, Chad. Go Go put on your hill
John Michael
figure
Montgomery.
and get out of here.
That was done by John Michael Montgomery.
And I swear.
Oh. I like their version better.
So who's the original?
John Michael Montgomery.
You know what I thought was really strange in the early 90s, Shirley? Now I got to think of the songs. It was it Blackstreet that had a version? Don't leave me, girl.
Do.
Please stay with me tonight. At the same song, at the same time that was out, Tupac had I Ain't Mad at You.
I Ain't Mad at You.
Exact same beat.
Yes, same
Two
sample.
Totally different songs.
Yep, same sample.
And always weirded me out.
Although if I had to choose between the two, I'm going with Tupac.
Definitely. Because
I love me some Tupac.
Heard you a Muslim now. From the song.
Why you look at me after you said?
Whoa, easy.
You look right at me.
You know what?
We don't need another Twitter war between you two.
Joey, I got a Bible verse I'd like for you to read. It's about workers and teachers and parents, and you know what? I'm gonna stop it right there.
All right.
I just want you to take a look at that if you could. All right. So Mark Adams talked about that. Let's save Holton. I got a quick chat with Holton, but I mentioned a former ECU baseball player. How about Bryant Packard is staying in baseball, but he's taking his talents to the mound. Bryant Packard, there was a report Shirley saw today. I thought it was a troll job. I did what I did with Joey earlier. I was like, Shirley, where in the world did you see this? Who in the world is saying this? But it is a report from a writer that covers the Tigers and covers their minor league baseball team. Emily Walden is her name with Baseball America, Tigers minor league. Says, per source, Tigers are converting Bryant Packard into a pitching role. He's expected to debut in a relief role with Class A Lakeland in the next few weeks. That was a shock. Now, I've talked to Bryant recently, maybe a couple months ago, maybe more recent than that. He had indicated to me that he was thinking about having to hang it up just because of injuries. So I reached out to him today and said, I'll read exactly what I said to him. I said, Pack heading to the mound? What the hell? And he said, yeah. I can't physically hit anymore because of my back, so now he's on the backup plan B. So he can physically pitch, and he is going to give it a go. So we wish Pack all the best of luck, and who knows, maybe he can maybe it develops a knuckleball, turns into a Tim Wakefield or something. I don't know. But
did he pitch before he came to East Carolina? Because I don't remember him pitching here.
I don't know. I guess I could ask him. I don't remember him being a pitcher. I remember him being a position player.
I think that's why it came as such a shock to me when I saw it on Twitter, because they were showing highlights.
Call Mully real quick.
Call Mully?
Yeah. Okay. 999-0001. See if he'll answer, and we'll ask him. But I'm glad he's going to continue his career. He's going to do it as long as he can, and if it works out, fantastic. But Bryant Packard, who was a tremendous hitter here at East Carolina, now going to the pitching world. Tyler says new beer. Joey, you're fired up about that, right?
Yep.
Is that a pirate brew?
Yep, pirate brew. The can looks really nice.
It does. By the way, this was a little nugget Meador was dropping yesterday when he said we got a big announcement, something people will be excited about. He was talking about the Pirates Brew, the official craft beer of East Carolina Athletics. Very cool can. Got the old school logo on it. We got Mully real quick. Mully, we were talking earlier today, or I was talking earlier today to Bryant Packard. We saw that he was going to make the move to the mound, and he said he just physically with his back couldn't hit anymore, but he's going to try to give this a go. He said he's on his backup plan, and Shirley was wondering, and we're all wondering, does he have a pitching background at all coming up playing ball that you remember?
Yeah, I mean, Packer's always been a baseball player, and he's pitched. He's played, lots of different spots, and we've seen this before. Maybe different circumstances, but I can think just off the top of my head, Tim Wakefield was an outfielder. And that's the one that just popped right.
Yeah.
So it may be that he may have. I can promise you this: if they're letting
You're breaking up on me, Molly.
the person. Sorry, buddy. Is that any better?
All right, I think we got you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So that tells you a lot about what the organization thinks of him.
Yeah.
But it also there's probably kind of like the knuckleball or a splitty, some type of gimmick pitch that he has that somebody has seen him throwing it, just mess around in the outfield, and they go, hey, man, you might want to give that a go. So, it could be it could be something as simple as that, but from an athletic ability standpoint, I think it's all there. The question becomes if the back is a concern when you're swinging the bat, I don't know how well it's going to hold up with the torque that's created by pitching with high velocity, which there again lends itself to think maybe there's, and again, I don't know this at all. I'm just taking off what you told us, but it leads me to believe that maybe there is some type of plus gimmick pitch that they think he could be successful with, i.e., a change-up. a knuckleball or, something out of there. How cool would it be to have a guy from East Carolina in the big leagues throwing a knuckleball?
I know, and I'm happy for him. And I haven't seen Pack in forever. I've texted with him, and just judging by his text, he sounded, when I talked to him months ago, kind of bummed out, but almost at peace, saying he might have to hang it up. So I'm happy for him, Mully, that as he called it today via text, a backup plan that he's going to try to give it a go. So yeah, we're definitely rooting for him.
Yeah, most of the time that backup plan for a baseball player is like selling insurance. In Bull Durham, it's selling Lady Kenmore's, and I don't know if you remember that part of the movie, but it is interesting that his backup plan has allowed him to stay in baseball.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, that's probably a one in 1,000 from the standpoint of staying in baseball, as a player, not transitioning to the coaching ranks. So, yeah, good for him, and it'll be really interesting to see how all that kind of shakes out.
Molly, I appreciate you answering your phone for this impromptu interview, and we will let you go. But Jamie, of course, is going to throw a question at you. He says, can we quickly get Mully's opinion on the player losses this week, and if he thinks it'll have a big effect, or will it be offset by the new class coming in? So AMAC hits the portal. Mully, Landon Ginn, moving on. Josh Moylan undrafted, but moving on, along with Grosz, Broad, that we've talked about. So how about what has happened here this week, and your quick thoughts on it?
Yeah, you know what? I think first and foremost, good for the young men that have had these opportunities to continue their career in professional baseball. I think the situation as it relates to AMAC is probably fairly unique from the standpoint of, man, he's been here so long, and if he wants to broaden his horizons and maybe a chance to finish up somewhere else, and quite frankly, it's hard as a coach to make a 6-year plan for a player. So, the program has to continue to grow and evolve. And do I think these losses are impactful? I mean, absolutely. I don't think there's any question about that. I still wonder if we're done with them. Clip it would to see another player, possibly maybe two, that go the undrafted route. But I do think. I mean, it'd be foolish to think losing Josh Moylan and losing obviously Grosz and maybe the guys that maybe more expected. Yeah, that'll be impactful. But we saw a lot of really quality innings out. Again, I would have speculated him into the weekend rotation for this upcoming season. But again, I don't know that to be fact. I think, quite frankly, if we're being very candid, I think the loss of Brott is not terribly impactful. I will say that I was very surprised to see him get an opportunity. Good for him. He does have incredible arm strength, but that's kind of it. And I don't think he hit the 20 inning mark. It's still innings, but I think it's with the guys you graduated and hopefully everybody else will stay in place. But, that's the deal at East Carolina, man. And every good program in the country is going to lose players, and that's why you've got the best out there in Jeff Palumbo leading the charge to go find ways to improve through acquisition of new talent.
Mully, good stuff, man. Always good to talk baseball with you. And MLB back tonight, coming off the All-Star break. Mully, you enjoy your weekend, man. We'll catch up with you again next week. Talk more about this in length Tuesday on Pirate Radio Live.
Okay, buddy. Have a good weekend.
You too, man. There is Mike Mullis, impromptu baseball chat with the Mully Man, who answered the call. We put out the Mully signal into the skies here in eastern North Carolina, and he responded. Jerry says, respect to Mully. A lot of respect being shown on the show today. I respect Shirley, I respect Joey, and I respect all of our great sponsors. In fact, Jerry also said, respect to all Pirate Radio sponsors. And we need to hear from some of those right now as we take a time out. When we return, Brian North will join us on the other side. Still a lot to go on the show. We'll talk some NFL with Tony Dunn, some golf with Mark Greenhelge, a little bit of everything with Morgan Ahlers, got a Josh Grosz interview, and a quick chat with Holton Ahlers. So a busy Friday edition of Pirate Radio Live. Glad to have you along for the ride. More to go when we return after these words.
Pirate fans, the East Carolina football season is just around the corner, and there's no better time than to guarantee your seat to see the Birmingham Bowl champs at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. Season ticket packages are as low as $115 in the fan zone. Pirate Club chairback seats can be purchased for $325. The six-game home slate kicks off September the 9th against the Marshall Thundering Herd. Get your season tickets today by calling 1-800-DIAL-ECU or go to ECUPirates.com.
Here at Brown & Wood with Jeff Stein. It's summertime, and Jeff, you guys have a new car wash.
We do. We put in a brand new car wash just for the customer. So when you come in, get your vehicle serviced, we wash, dry, vacuum your car for free. It's state of the art, but free to the customer.
And this summer, you have an AC special.
It's summertime. Air conditioning units are breaking left and right. But guess what? At Brown & Wood, all summer, I have free diagnostics on all air conditioning issues. Only at Brown & Wood.
Did you know that it's illegal to dig without first calling 811? 811 is a free program that locates underground utilities, marking them with flags and paint lines so you know where not to dig. Accidentally digging into utility lines interrupts service and could seriously hurt you or someone else. If you know someone who's planning to dig, encourage them to call 811 at least 3 full working days before they dig. 811 is free, it's safe, and it's the law. This message is brought to you by Greenville Utilities and this station.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville, do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers. This is Talbot Green with Integrity Home Mortgage. Are you ready and pre-approved if the home you want to purchase comes for sale today? Integrity Home Mortgage offers a wide variety of programs ranging from conventional, government, and portfolio loans, plus construction and lot loans. Our team of Talbot Green, Braxton Green, and Joanne Weir offers over 50 years of experience. To get started, call me, Talbot Green, 714-2076.
Talbot Green, NMLS 120331. For informational purposes only. Integrity Home Mortgage Corporation is an equal housing lender. NMLS 208516.
I'm Sam Jones, and for more than 3 generations, my folks have kept the fires burning for Eastern North Carolina Whole Hog Barbecue. At Sam Jones, you'll find our smokehouse pumping out wood-fired meats, cooked fresh every single day. There are no freezers at our place. Everything, and we mean everything, is made fresh daily, including our sides, sweets, and sauces. Stop in and see us, and I bet you'll be able to taste our passion in just one bite. At Sam Jones Barbecue, you'll find plenty of smoke, but no mirrors.
The icy treat that can't be beat is Sparky Snowballs. From big kids to little kids, Sparky Snowballs has been making smiles happen for over 20 years. If you're not in the mood to chill out with a snowball, Sparky's funnel cakes and fried Oreos are a perfect Sparky-licious treat every time. Are you having an event, party, or fundraiser? Call Sparky's to come on site. Remember to follow Sparky's on Facebook or visit SparkySnowballs.com to see where they'll be next.
Coco's Sports Bar and Restaurant, located in the Old Professor O'Cool's location, has daily lunch specials from 11 to 5, including their famous $1 wing special Monday through Wednesday all day long. Coco's has entertainment every Tuesday with country western night and karaoke on Thursday starting at 8. Take advantage of their weekly fresh fruit margarita specials and be sure to try the best Philly ribeye steak rolls in town while you're at it. Coco's Sports Bar and Restaurant, Greenville's Diamond in the Rough. Check them out on Facebook for more information. Go Pirates!
This is Garrett Saylor, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by Pirate Water. Get ready to party, pirates. Go to drinkpiratewater.com to find your new treasure. 21 and older only. Pirate Water. Why be yourself when you can be a pirate? Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Vacation spots are right here in our very own backyard. Take a trip to a state park and enjoy traditional camping, RV space, and also air-conditioned cabins that can be rented with Wi-Fi. If you're by a lake, be sure to check out the opportunities to rent a canoe or kayak and get out on the water. Your next adventure is right around the corner. For more information, please visit ncparks.gov. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's Clip.
I heard Garrett Saylor there coming back into the show, and just more evidence that I'm the dumbest person here. Last night, I saw the Braves and White Sox playing a series beginning tonight in Atlanta, and I reached out to a couple of White Sox fans, Patrick Mason and Garrett Short, who I know follow the Sox, like the Sox, and I said, hey guys, y'all know if y'all want to get together this Saturday night, watch a little Braves Sox, let me know. We could hit up a spot in town and enjoy some baseball. And about an hour and a half, 2 hours later, I received a text from Garrett Saylor, and it said, sorry, Clip, I'll be out of town this weekend. And I was like, well, okay, but why did he send me that? Like, have I scheduled something with Garrett Saylor I was unaware of? Well, I don't even have Garrett Short's number in my phone. I realized that I correspond with him via Twitter DM, so I had sent a group text to Patrick Mason and Garrett Saylor rather than Garrett Short. And boy, I was pretty embarrassed by that. I had to tell them, sorry, Garrett, I did not mean to send that to you, but if you're ever around on a Saturday and want to watch some baseball, let me know. So there's another PSA for you. Make sure you are texting the correct person.
Yeah.
Could come back to haunt you. And I'm a moron. But great respect to me and great respect to all of you. This is a respectful show. Todd says, respect to that Brave shirt. I don't wear a lot of red. This might be the only red that I own. But I pulled it out today to start the second half of the season. Shirley, as we bring on Brian North, can you hit Coach Schwartz real quick? Because we respect Brian North as well.
Just a ton of respect for Campbell and their program and their coaching staff. Ton of respect for Coach Dixon. Ton of respect for Coppin State as a program. Great respect for the High Point program, Coach Smith. Great respect for Temple, their program, Coach McKee. Great respect for Coach Dawkins.
And then it goes on. Great respect to Brian North, who joins us on the Pirate Radio Live line. North, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. I have great respect for you, Clip, even though you're wearing red, because anytime I used to wear red at Dowdy Ficklen Stadium, the Pirate fans would throw stuff at me. So
yeah, this might have been outlawed by Troy like 15 years ago, but it does say Braves on it, and my red hat says D.H. Conley on it, DHC. But yeah, not a lot of red and light blue. Welcome here in these parts, but yeah, wearing the red today. Brian, we bring up Coach Schwartz and his great respect because ECU is in the basketball. ECU basketball is in the news today. If I told you this time last year Mark Adams would be an assistant coach at ECU, you'd have said, what in the world happened to that guy? And we talked about earlier kind of what happened to that guy, but how about your thoughts on Mark Adams, known as a defensive guru, joining this basketball staff?
Yeah. What are the charges? Would have been my first question. Okay. No, look, that's a tribute to Coach Schwartz and his connections within the business and how well he's respected, that a guy with his resume would come and work for him. So, look, Pirate program on the rise, and you see things like that. You always have to look for those little indicators, and that's a big one for ECU. When coaches with good resumes are willing to come to Greenville and help out Coach Schwartz, I think that's just one of those little benchmarks that you note along the way that the program's headed in the right direction.
Second news of the week of someone moving to the bench as an assistant coach, Reggie Williams, who was a part of the staff, the basketball staff last year, now moving into an assistant coach role. So you've got a former, big-time NCAA Division I head coach and a guy who played in the NBA and got paid a lot of money to play professional basketball, which that certainly doesn't hurt recruiting and kind of getting your profile out there.
And played well. I remember him when he was at VMI. It was after I had my dealings with VMI doing their coaches show there. But when he goes in and sets the all-time record, and they had some good guys who played there in an up-and-down style, for him to have those all-time scoring records and then have a nice NBA career. And look, again, another nice resume stacker for ECU basketball that gives them some credibility. And because Reggie's name means something, and it looks like he can still play a little bit, and you watch the practice video of him, and he's a younger guy who can get after it and kind of still show the Pirate players what it takes to get to that level. And I think that goes a ways in recruiting now. Every guy thinks he's going to go to the league, and so now you've got a guy who's been there who can talk to them and then can still physically show them.
No doubt. Brian North joining us, Pirate Radio Live Line, on a Friday edition of Pirate Radio Live. North earlier this week caught up with Josh Grosz and had that on YouTube and Facebook. We'll air it on the radio side later on this afternoon. But Josh told me he signed the dotted line, so it is official earlier today. He is a member of the Yankees organization. He was drafted. Tyler Brott drafted to the Cardinals. Josh Moylan, both Josh is going to be part of the Yankees organization as he signs a rookie free agent deal. Landon Ginn also signing a deal of sorts with the Chicago Cubs. So you've got a number of Pirates moving on. I kind of figured the Joshes would not be back. Ginn and Brott, a little more surprising than them. I guess the biggest surprise this week would be a portal entry rather than a draft pick or a signing with Alec Makarevich entering the transfer portal. So a lot of shakeup with ECU baseball this week.
And you hit the nail on the head. Makarevich, Makarevich. That one was the one that got me a little bit, and that just tells you where baseball is going with transfer portal, NIL. There's got to be something there that lures a guy away. You just had a couple of players drafted off your team, so it can't be the thought that you can go somewhere else and get better for your draft stock because you're already having the opportunity. So is it either an NIL deal or is it a guaranteed SEC deal? Is it a College World Series deal? So there's something more to that story I'd like to hear. My guess is NIL. All these times we have these kind of head-scratcher guys entering the portal. You could look at the two Havelock offensive linemen who are gone. It's definitely an NIL deal, and somebody's throwing money at them usually. I'd have to hear it from Makarevich himself, but this is what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
And I think with the draft being limited and minor league baseball being limited, you're going to see more of this going on in college baseball.
Yeah, I mean, from what I gather, the folks over there were pretty surprised to hear that announcement come from AMAC. So that will be an opening, and as Joey astutely pointed out, the corner infielder is going to look different next year. No Josh Moylan, no AMAC, and you'll have to find some pop to put there. The good news is Cliff Godwin bringing in a ton of talent as always. And I know, again, I don't follow recruiting in any sport that closely or get excited about it just because I'd rather know their names when they get here and are official. But I know Bristol Carter was a guy they were thinking maybe taking in the draft. I guess it was one of those cases, Brian, where he kind of set his number at a spot, and if he didn't get that number, he was going to go play college baseball, and he'll be playing here at ECU. I know they're excited about him and some other guys they're bringing in.
Right, and so I'm curious as what's going to happen with Cliff with transfer portal stuff. He's been a guy who has been big on the recruiting trail, right? Get them, develop them, and then work them through the system. And I know he's kind of wanted to resist doing the transfer portal a little bit, but you're seeing other programs. LSU had such success doing it, and I think people are looking for the microwave edition of getting good quick. And so we're going to see a lot more of that. So I just wonder, they picked up a guy from George Washington. They did get some pitching help through the portal. I'm just wondering, what Cliff's philosophy is going to be doing as it goes forward, because things always change. And if the portal becomes easier, we've seen Mike Houston have good success in the portal. I'm just wondering where Cliff goes with this, or if he's going to stay tried and true with his recruiting methods and developing guys within Greenville, especially college baseball. You know, when they do leave after 3 years with the draft, even though that's more limited, it's still something very interesting to keep an eye on with Cliff's philosophy going forward.
Brian North joining us, Pirate Radio Live Line. North, one of the things going on in the sports world right now that admittedly I'm not following that closely other than keeping up with how much the Hornets lose is the Summer League. I am keeping up with Terquavion Smith, and 20 points yesterday. Looks the part. I asked Chandler a question yesterday and immediately knew the answer right after I asked it. Why didn't the Hornets, with all their draft picks they had this year, late first round, a couple second rounders, take Terquavion Smith, and why did nobody take him? The answer to the first question was because they're the Hornets and they don't do anything right. Yeah. But who knows? He could end up a EuroLeague MVP or something like that. But to me, it just feels like a guy that's going to stay around the NBA that teams are going to really like. And when he is kind of the man, like he was at State and like he's able to be in these Summer League games, he just shows his talent. And I'm still kind of shocked he was not selected in the draft.
I'm sure it had something to do with some of the measurables, whether it's weight, size, strength. I think sometimes teams get caught up in that. When you watch and get to know Terquavion Smith, he lives basketball, loves basketball, knows basketball, is a competitor, loves the challenge. He's just, the old school gamer, right? He's a guy who just keeps doing things that turn your head. Maybe you look at him and you say, okay, he's not LeBron with the body, but he has got a game that always seems to play well. He understands the game so well, and I just can never understand how teams or scouts can't figure that out, but maybe they think they can find those guys without having to invest draft-wise.
Yeah.
Everybody knew he was going to get signed, and it's not like he was going to go and no one is going to take him. He's just a guy who's been a winner his whole life at basketball. He doesn't do anything else, right? He's not into going out. He's not into the partying. He's not into anything else except playing basketball all the time. I heard him say during an interview yesterday in the Summer League, the only thing he likes to do outside of play basketball is play Call of Duty. And so he'll just sit there playing video games, which is resting his body, I guess. So I think he makes the 76ers roster. I'd probably be a two-way player to start so they can get him some G League time, but I think he's a guy that is certainly going to carve himself out a spot in the NBA. And as long as he figures out the nutrition, figures out the mental side of the game, the rest, I think he's got a chance to have a nice, long, double-digit year career.
Brian North joining us on the Pirate Radio Live Line, WCTI 12. Brian North, very interesting guy, quirky. I don't mean that as an insult, Brian, but when I see things like you knocking on a little door on a tree on Facebook last week while I was off, and I don't know. Can you explain that story for folks that aren't familiar, or even those that did see it? Do we have a conclusion to that story? You're in front of some tree. Is it around a cemetery maybe, or something, Brian? But there's like a door built into the tree. What's going on there?
The older I get, the more I'm just into these mysteries of life, right? Like I'm determined to prove that D.B. Cooper, the guy who stole a bunch of money and jumped out of a plane in 1972, was from Craven County. I am determined to find out how a Statue of Liberty replica that was once in front of the Raleigh courthouse is now in front of a front yard in Moorhead City. So now, one of my other ones, somebody messaged me and said, there's this mysterious portal door now in front of Cedar Grove Cemetery in New Bern. Please investigate, find out what it is. So I went right to the source, knocked on the door. The little elves did not answer.
The door, by the way, is what, 2 to 4 inches or whatever? Like it's
about 3-4 inches tall. Fits right in the nook of the tree. There's a little. You open the door, which I was brave enough to do. Opened it up, and there's a little room in there for some sort of elf or gnome or something. And so the big mystery is, where did it come from? And so my investigative skills have pointed me to a place called the Shop Class, which is this little brick building less than a quarter mile away from there, where there's a bunch of dudes with different backgrounds with nothing else to do with their free time but come up with creative ideas, stained glass windows and big statues, and one guy makes bass guitars. They're guys from all over the world, different backgrounds. One guy's a former CIA guy. One guy's a former music teacher. Just a real eclectic ages and all this. But someone within that group, and I have yet to get them identified, but someone within that group made this fairy door portal, which apparently if you do the research online, you'll see that's kind of a thing. If you find a tree that's got a rotten out area, you build the door and put it in and wait for the gnomes and elves to show up. So that's what I've got so far. Still don't have the identity of the door maker, but we have an answer of where it came from.
Glad we still have newsmen like you in the business, Brian, getting those stories and asking the questions and trying to figure out everything about life and the oddball stuff as well. That's good stuff. Brian, what you got on tap for the weekend here?
Well, I just, speaking of quirky stuff, I was just stopped by Mills Metal Recycling to drop off a load of steel and tin cans to supplement my income since I don't make Brian Bailey money. And continuing to do some cleanup around the homesteads this weekend. Then I got to make a quick trip to the farm this week before football starts. So go up and see Moms up in New York, and then we get back and we get into football.
Yeah. Heck, we are approaching blitz time with high school football right around the corner. So, yeah, it'll be here very, very soon. Enjoy the rest of your summer, Brian, and the trip up north, and we'll catch up with you again soon, man.
All right, sounds good, Clipper.
Always enjoy it. Brian North joining us on the Pirate Radio Live Line. Great respect to Brian North and all the gnomes and elves out there that may be tuned in to Pirate Radio Live.
Just a ton of respect.
A ton. A metric ton of respect to you and yours. Let's take a break. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 1. Hour 2, we'll talk some NFL with Tony Dunn, some golf with Mark Greenhelge. Got Morgan Ahlers. Got a quick chat with Holton Ahlers that we recorded yesterday. Josh Grosz as well. And more of your questions, comments, concerns. We'll be back with you on Pirate Radio Live after this.
What's up there, Pirate Nation? Kyle Gaines here from Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram here in Washington, North Carolina. This just came in, just announced 10% off MSRP on all 23 Ram Bighorns. That's right, huge savings, 10% off window sticker on these 23 Bighorns. And it is that time of year, it is Wrangler season. We have a huge selection of Jeep Wranglers, Gladiators, soft top, hard tops. So come check us out here at Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Remember, drive a little, save a lot. Go Pirates.
Country Mart has been locally owned and operated for over 40 years and is your premier country store serving the best cheese biscuits and country food around. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Both Country Mart locations are top-of-the-line fuel stations serving Shell gas, including 93 ethanol-free high-octane gas, which is the best for all you boat owners. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food in your engines with great gasoline. Go Pirates.
And then it was 2 seagulls!
We're here for the booty.
Party!
Pirate Water is here. Go to drinkpiratewater.com to find pirate water in a location near you.
We're going plankton!
Pirate Water is here. 21 and older, please drink responsibly.
North Carolina State Parks invites you to enjoy camping your way. With the weather changing, booking your own cabin is the perfect solution for your camping getaway. Reserve campsites or cabins today at Jones Lake, Goose Creek, and Cliffs of the Neuse. Whether you enjoy traditional camping or air-conditioned cabins that can be rented with Wi-Fi, your next adventure can include hiking, beautiful scenery, and sunsets by the campfire. For information on booking a cabin, visit ncparks.gov.
Familia is your go-to spot for the best Italian dishes around, including pizzas, pastas, salads, and homemade desserts.
That's Familia.
Enjoy half-off wine night on Wednesdays, $3 drafts on Thursdays, or get a pizza of the week for just $12.
That's Familia.
Place your order online or call 689-6330, and Familia will have your order ready in their drive-thru window for pickup.
That's Familia.
Clip, really?
Oh, sorry.
Familia on Fire Tower Road in Winterville near Pitt Community College.
Hi, I'm Annalie Newhoff.
And I'm Rob Campbell.
And we are with CopyPro. We have been locally owned and operated here in Eastern North Carolina for almost 50 years. CopyPro is the leader in office technology.
Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and make your business more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro, we are the professional office systems people.
Be sure to check out David Price Construction for all of your commercial or custom residential renovation and building needs. Run by ECU alumni, David Price Construction specializes in commercial projects, maintenance on facilities, and large-scale residential renovations and additions. Proud to be voted the Remodeler of the Year by the Home Builders Association of Raleigh-Wake County in 2018 and Best Business Commercial Remodel Project winner for 2020. David Price Construction, the proud ECU Home Services partner.
UBE and PirateWear.com are proud to offer the Pirate Nation its largest inventory of ECU merchandise and tailgate supplies ever. UBE has the best prices in town, so that makes UBE your one-stop shop for all things ECU. UBE does daily restocks of Champion, Adidas, and Under Armour. Don't forget to bring your young pirates to plunder the Crow's Nest, which is the only kids store dedicated to ECU. Plenty of free parking in Uptown Greenville. Visit them online at PirateWear.com. Go Pirates!
Pirate Radio.
Join the crew.
What are those things that go bang? Abandon ship!
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by Pirate Water. Get ready to party, pirates. Go to drinkpiratewater.com to find your new treasure. 21 and older only. Pirate Water. Why be yourself when you can be a pirate? Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. For the latest breaking news, interesting stories, and awesome contests that can make you a winner, be sure to follow Pirate Radio on our social media. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at PR927FM. Join the over 65,000 followers today. Now let's head back in to PRL. Here's Flip.
All right, we're still in a bit of a dead time when it comes to the NFL, but very soon, next week, the following week, training camps will get underway. Let's see if I can get NFL training camp dates pulled up to see when because the Jets and Browns will report earlier than everyone else because they will be playing in the Hall of Fame game. That's when it usually goes. So Cleveland is July 19th. So, yeah, that'll be next week. Looks like every other team will be the kind of following week after that, including the Carolina Panthers, who will begin training camp. Rookies will report on the 22nd, which would be next Saturday, and then the veterans report on the 25th, a few days later. So getting into that training camp portion, and we're going to be following that closely this year with all the Pirates spread out on NFL teams trying to make a roster, and it's going to make preseason football very interesting as well. And we had a chance to talk to Holton Ahlers yesterday, who said he's ready for some NFL preseason, and I'm ready to watch him, and Isaiah Winstead and Keaton Mitchell and Ryan Jones and all the guys. But we had a chance to just catch up with Holton, see how it's been so far with his time in Seattle. And Shirley, let's hit that right now.
Hey folks, Clip Rock here with Holton Ahlers announcing he's coming back for one more year at ECU. No, unfortunately, Holton is off to the NFL with the Seattle Seahawks back in Greenville. Holton, it's good to see you, man. Everything going good in your life?
Yeah, it's been going good. Super busy. You know, we got about a week and a half till we report for camp, and the time I was up there, about a month and a half, it's been great. So I've really enjoyed the NFL life. It's a different lifestyle, different type of work. It really is a job now, but I love football and going to play as long as I can. So yeah, I've enjoyed it.
What was your first taste of the NFL like when you were out there last month?
Honestly, just the job aspect of it. Just learning the playbook and, going from, 6-word plays in college, which is pretty much every college in America, to, 20, 25-word plays and having to step into a huddle because we were in no huddle here. So just little things like that, getting used to it. But it's definitely a job, but I've loved it so far and excited to get some reps in preseason.
And what's it going to be like? When are you heading back to Seattle for training camp? That's coming up, right?
Yeah, heading back July 23rd, getting there, and then we practice July 26th. Our first game's August 10th, so it's coming quick, and I'm going to be getting reps in preseason, so Pirate fans watch, and hopefully we can make some plays.
A reason to watch preseason football.
There we go.
And Keaton and Ryan Jones and all those guys, right? Isaiah do them. And Holden, I ask all the guys, have you had a starstruck moment yet? Did you see anybody, NFL, coaches, whatever, that you were like, wow, I'm here?
Yeah, we got a lot of guys on our team that are like that, but honestly, it's so fast-paced and, learning the playbook so much that you don't have time to really think about it. But, seeing DK Metcalf in the locker room, Bobby Wagner, Geno Smith, Pete Carroll's our head coach. So all those guys, they've been great to me so far, and just kind of learning behind them. But, yes, it's so fast-paced you can't think of it like that. You just got to go and be yourself and try to make the team.
Keep up the good work. Great to catch up with you, man, and we'll be rooting you on all the way over here on the East Coast.
For sure. Thank you. I appreciate it.
There is former ECU quarterback Holton Ahlers. Looking forward to training camp and then preseason football, which, again, not something I get excited about it because it's football on TV. And it's nice to know that the real games are near, but this year we'll be actually watching those games and certainly keeping up with you and letting you know what's going on our social media accounts. Hopefully a lot of highlights from Keaton, maybe a few catches from Ryan Jones, Isaiah Winstead, as well as Holton Ahlers making some plays. Noah Henderson, Joey, weren't we talking about him off there? Is Noah, what is he, injured currently, or do you know?
Oh, no. I thought he was with the Bills last I heard.
So still okay. I'll check in with Noah and
you might want to check in because I've been trying to find him and he's not appearing on a roster.
Right.
So that's a little bit concerning for me. I don't know if he's injured and that's why it's not popping up. But everybody else is showing up on a roster. So I'm trying to figure out what the issue is there.
I'll go straight to the horse's mouth and see if I can find some information on Big Noah with the Bills Mafia. Speaking of the NFL, we'll talk about that coming up in our next segment with Tony Dunn, C3 Podcast, CarolinaCatChronicles.com. We'll see if there's any news and notes going on in Pantherland, kind of the quiet before the storm when training camps open up. But we'll talk about that and look at some NFL news and notes, maybe talk a little fantasy. All on the way on Pirate Radio Live here, hour number 2. Back with you after this.
Before anyone walks into your business, the outside is what they see. Make sure your first impression is a good impression with the right curb appeal. Hi, this is Daniel Andrews from Dan Andrews Lawn Service. We specialize in making your business look great. Let us handle all your professional landscaping needs. We do it all so you don't ever have to worry. Residential services are also available. Call us today at 717-8006 and we'll come out and give you a free quote. Taking care of your landscaping needs is all we do, and we've been doing it for over 20 years. You can trust our reliable team at Dan Andrews Lawn Service, covering all of Eastern North Carolina.
The Beach Tavern Bar and Grill has been the place to be for over 50 years. BT's is the best local sports bar in the heart of Atlantic Beach. Located on West Fort Macon Road across from Pacific, BT's has daily food specials, a late night menu, cold beer, pool, darts, and live entertainment for everyone to enjoy. Make it a summer to remember at the Beach Tavern Bar and Grill. Follow BT's on Facebook and Instagram for all the daily specials and events. BT's, the place for fun in Atlantic Beach this summer.
This is Aaron Williams with Ease Plumbing.
This is Mike Hoggart with Viva Electric.
This is Mark McGlawhorn, Roland Black Heating and Cooling.
We have teamed up to form New Blue Service Group, offering Eastern North Carolina the best in plumbing, electrical, and HVAC services. Same great local team, same great local service, just a new name. Contact us at callnewblue.com. That's callnublue.com. New Blue Service Group, where we are redefining service excellence. Call us today to help with your plumbing, electrical, and HVAC services. Go Pirates.
Do you ever talk to yourself about where to eat today, and then you hear
Warren's hot dogs?
Then you're thinking, yeah, 2 hot dogs, chips, and a drink for only $6.25 would be awesome.
Warren's hot dogs.
And and maybe some homemade lemonade, perhaps a pizza or a sub, and definitely an apple or peach turnover.
Warren's Hot Dogs.
Don't overthink where to eat today. Go to Warren's Hot Dogs in Greenville across from Ron Ayers or in Chocowinity next to the fire station. Warren's Hot Dogs, serving the Pirate Nation since 1991. Go Pirates!
The convenience of Pitt Greenville Airport is waiting just outside your front door. Service is back, so you're connected to destinations worldwide through flights from American Airlines. Plan your next trip. Book your flights today at flypgv.com or aa.com.
Avoid the long check-in lines and congestion at the big airports and fly local at PGV. Fast, convenient, and close to home, PGV has American airline flights perfect for your next trip. Book today at aa.com. PGV, where the pirates fly.
In the studio today with Frank Lee with Appliances Superstore. Frank, why should people go see you?
We make buying appliances easy, just that simple. We have the largest selection of in-stock appliances in Eastern North Carolina, which helps our customers save money every day. We offer a 12-month warranty on all our appliances, plus we deliver and set up your new appliances and remove your old ones. Come visit us at the Appliances Superstore off 264 behind the new DMV, or shop us online at AppliancesSuperstore.com. Remember, we make buying appliances easy at the Appliances Superstore.
East Coast Grading and Utilities is your source for clearing, hauling dirt, and concrete work. East Coast Grading and Utilities handles all sewer and water issues as well.
I'm David Vaughn. Whether putting in a new subdivision or helping you with any and all of your drainage problems, I can get the job done. Call me at 531-7494.
No job is too big or too small. East Coast Grading and Utilities. Friends helping friends. 531-7494 for East Coast Grading and Utilities.
The Wood Ducks are at home this weekend versus the Charleston River Dogs, July 14th through the 16th. This Friday is Scout Night, and the first 1,000 fans will receive an Avocado Steam Beach t-shirt sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance and Conway Co. Saturday is Margaritaville Night, and fans will receive an Avocado Steam bucket hat presented by UNC Lenore Health. Go online to get your tickets in advance at woodducksbaseball.com or head to the box office the day of the game. Hope to see you at Granger Stadium all weekend long. Go Woodies!
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by Country Mart. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations, in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food and your engines with great gasoline. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Christie's Europub is the perfect place to relax, grab a bite, and enjoy a drink. Located in the heart of Greenville and just a few blocks from ECU's campus, Christie's offers lunch, dinner, and late night with live music every Sunday. Come and have lunch Monday through Friday from 11 to 3 or Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 4. For the latest information, check Christie's out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram or Christie'sEuropub.com. Scratch cooking takes time, so relax and enjoy a pint today at Christie's Europub. Now let's head back in to PRL. Here's Cliff.
Back with you, Pirate Radio Live. Tony Dunn, running a few minutes behind, will join us here in the Pirate Radio studios. Mark Greenhill's Golf Shop radio show, less than a week away from the start of the Open Championship. We'll talk about that with Greeny. Morgan Ahlers will be the second Ahlers to appear on our show today, as we just played our Holton Ahlers interview a moment ago. Will join us, and also we'll run our interview with Josh Grosz, who has signed the dotted line and is a member of the New York Yankees organization. Ruth, Gehrig, DiMaggio, Costanza, Moylan, and Grosz now with those New York Yankees. All right, Jamie said something that it's not the first time I've heard this since yesterday. He says, Holden looks like he's lost quite a bit of weight, trimmed up. Chandler and somebody else was saying that yesterday. Now, it could have been because he was sitting beside a fat guy like me. And, you know, the camera adds 10 pounds to me, and I take 10 pounds away from the person beside me. But a lot of folks saying Holden looks good. So, hey, look good, feel good, play good, all that. Atticus on the basketball note says, this new assistant coach for hoops is the exact type of maniac we need to take this program to the next level. Great hire. So he's fired up for Mark Adams. As I'm looking at NFL news, quote unquote, on ESPN, It says Chiefs Mahomes take top honors at 2023 ESPYs. And I was thinking to myself, why do we still have the ESPYs? Maybe this is an old man take. It's something I watched in the 90s and remember the, Jim Valvano speech and later the Stuart Scott speech. And the ESPYs kind of famous for that. Honestly, my favorite thing ever from the ESPYs was when Norm Macdonald hosted and did his monologue and his OJ jokes and was never invited back, by the way. But if you would like to see something funny, you can YouTube Norm Macdonald ESPYs from back in the day. But this could be a generational thing. Joey, as a younger man, do you care about the ESPYs and do you watch the ESPYs?
Do I care? No. Do I watch? No.
Okay, a no and a no. Have you ever watched it?
Yeah, I've watched it before. I think I watched the year that John Cena was the host.
Okay.
And he had some pretty good one-liners.
I
like the clips that come from him, but I don't ever sit there and watch it.
Yeah. And there is a place, I think, for awards. I just don't know about award shows. Like, do people watch the movie award shows or the Grammys or the ESPYs anymore? I don't know. It's why don't they just come out with a list? Here's why. Well, one reason is pointless. So best. Let's see. Pat Mahomes was awarded with best quarterback. So they gave an award for the best team in the NFL. And guess who won that award? The team that won the Super Bowl. We've already decided that.
Yeah.
We decided that 6 months ago. Best team, Kansas City Chiefs. Guess who won the NBA's best player? Jokic. Yeah, I mean, you're giving these awards out like the NBA does their own awards. Why does the ESPYs need to also give out awards? It just seems very pointless and meaningless. I like the idea of uber athletes being all together in the same room, but some of this stuff is what's the point?
I think it's just a reason to get a bunch of athletes to dress nice and take pictures.
Yeah, get on the red carpet or whatever, I guess. But I think this is a getting older thing. I don't know. Like the slam dunk contest, like the home run derby, things I was really into at one point in time. And maybe, too, the ESPYs in the 90s, internet. The internet was around, but we couldn't really do much up there. And now everybody's got so many other things available to them that you don't sit and watch a show while it's running live anymore. Do you have any shows, Joey? First of all, what's your TV situation at your homestead? Are you streaming? Are you cable? What are you?
Streaming.
Yeah, so you're streaming.
Yeah, no cable in the crib.
So, other than live sporting events and games, is there a program that you watch live that you have to watch as it airs? But I mean, you're streaming everything anyway. So you know what I'm saying?
I'll come out and be honest with you.
I appreciate your honesty.
I got a little app on my smart TV that gives me access to about a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess genuinely, I mean, whenever I want to watch something or something that's coming out pretty soon, like for example, a movie. What's a new movie that just came out?
You're asking the wrong guy.
Yeah, well, a movie that's in theater that just came out now, I could go watch right
Oppenheimer.
now.
Is that out? I've seen a lot about that. I don't know.
And then I could probably go watch that on my TV right now.
All right, I don't know if you should be talking about this on the air.
It's completely legal.
My question was, though, like say Law and Order used to, or my examples would be an HBO show with Game of Thrones or something that would come out on a Sunday, but even like a Law and Order Thursday night at 9 o'clock, like you know,
nothing live, but I know so I got Hulu that they release episodes as
like the following day or
following day. Yeah. So I'm watching one or two shows. One of them is called The Class of 09. It's about an FBI.
I've heard about that.
Yeah, it's like an FBI type of thing, and it time travels between past, current, and future tense.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's pretty decent. It's kind of weird, with the world evolving to AI and stuff.
Okay.
It kind of has a little AI twist and see what it would be if the police were ran by AI. So it's a different spin on things.
Steve dropping sportsurge.net, free legal sports streaming. Steve, don't drop that. I don't know. That sounds fishy. Nobody click on that. Just because I don't want to get blamed for it. It's at the Pirate Radio chat feed or whatever.
Quarterback is good, too, that I told you I was going to watch on Netflix.
Well, I'm seeing awesome reviews for that, and I'm kind of excited because I got something to watch this weekend. I'm going to watch Quarterback on Netflix. I've seen only good things about it. Yeah. And do I care about Patrick Mahomes? Kirk Cousins is like the most normal, boring guy ever. Marcus Mariota got benched. Like, am I interested in this? Like, on the surface, no, but...
That's where I'm at right now in the point of the season. Mariota just getting benched.
So, all I've heard is good things. So I'll be checking that out this weekend. Tony Dunn, C3 Podcast, joining us inside the Pirate Radio studios. Hello, Tony.
What's up, my man?
You watch Quarterback yet?
Like I should scoot in.
Why? Oh, Joey.
No, yeah, I think so.
He's got it.
Have I watched the Quarterback yet?
Have you watched it?
No, I have not.
You heard about it?
I have. I did hear. I read. Where I started to read a synopsis of it, like I was looking at The Athletic, and then I was like, man, why is this guy really going to write a episode-by-episode synopsis of this? That's how slow the news cycle is.
Yeah.
But I did hear Kirk Cousins started with a Margaret Thatcher quote in the show, which I thought was cool, and that is, if he could walk on water, he would be criticized for not being able to swim.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah.
Oh, Kirk. Jamie says Breaking Bad was maybe the last show I can think of people had to watch live, and he says The Sopranos as well. I'd put Game of Thrones up there. That was definitely a watch live thing.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were going wild about The Last of Us.
Yeah, and I watched that.
And the other one was the Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah, the dragon deal, which I thought was really good. I enjoyed that. And that might be why Lost was my all-time favorite TV show, because they end every episode on a cliffhanger. There was an online community that you talked with during the episode, after the episode, leading up to the next one. And it was an experience. And now, where you can binge, you can watch an entire series in one night if you want to, Tony. Which, by the way, I did watch one episode of that comedy you suggested to me. It was pretty funny.
Sprung.
But everything's different now.
Yeah, I think, but the networks or the streaming services have also figured that out too. That is problematic for them. So that's why they do the 3-episode drop now, and then an episode.
Oh man, I got screwed with that recently. I watched
Hijack.
Yes, yes. I was like, I like Idris Elba. Is that his name? And I've seen good reviews. I'm going to check this out. Went to watch it.
Got 3 in?
I got 2 in.
Oh.
And it didn't give me the option for 3. And I was like, son of a gun.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to see this whole thing.
Happened to me, but it was on 3.
So now I think I have 3 and 4 to watch whenever I'm ready. But that's pretty good. That Elba dude.
Yeah, he's good.
He's been in some
The
good
Wire.
roles.
Clip, I got this topic. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's for sports. And
I've heard of sports.
No, I'm kidding. So you know the Sleeper app, of course, great app. Notification: Commanders Antonio Gibson wants to line up more at wide receiver in 2020.
Oh, here we go again.
Every year.
He says I haven't shown my position.
Okay, great. Was it 2 years ago Ron Rivera said he was Christian McCaffrey?
Yes.
Antonio Gibson.
A lot of table banging here when you talk about the Commanders.
A lot of pins. So Antonio Gibson was a receiver. Washington's like, hey, let's draft a receiver and turn him into a running back. Okay, whatever. Had a touch of the fumbleitis maybe, and we got Brian Robinson back there, and maybe another. Let me look at it.
Man, you get in Ron Rivera's doghouse when it comes to that. The Cameron Artist Payne show.
Cap. I love the idea of finding ways to get him the football. So Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson. I tell you what we need to do is
just give him the ball.
We could sign Dalvin Cook, or I think I saw Kareem Hunt as a name. I would not be upset with that. But right now we got a problem. Like, we actually have good receivers. Curtis Samuel awoke from his slumber and was good last year. Jahan Dotson looks like he's going to be good, and I love Terry McLaurin with all my heart. So I don't know. Maybe we slot him, but we got to find a way to get him the
just
ball.
catch out the backfield.
Yeah.
It's like in more of a Christian McCaffrey type role. That's what he wants to be, and that's how you're going to get paid as a running back today is by actually getting the ball as a receiver sometimes and being able to, you might get a little bit more there. I actually got both of those guys. You named two of them on my dynasty team, Antonio Gibson and Curtis Samuel. I don't know, they're not slated to be starters right now. The question is, though, somebody offered me a 3rd-round pick next year for Brandon. Well, I get next year. I have to give Brandon Cooks now. And I was wondering, I was like, man, should I do
Cowboys?
this? Because I have Curtis Samuel, and I feel like they could be in similar roles.
Well,
but I feel, man, is Brandon Cooks he might be a starter this year with Dallas. For fantasy.
Yeah.
You got to look, too, at the overall offense, Tony. You having 2 commanders is not suggested.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys offense looks like it should be one of the best. So,
yeah, and Cooks is one of those guys that's like a solid fantasy player every year. I mean, he's just like 6 catches, 80 yards every game.
Trivia question. Who I thought was the only receiver to have 1,000-yard seasons for 4 different teams?
Well, I mean, it's obviously Brandon Cooks.
He has done it, and I did not know he had done it. So,
who'd you think the other one was?
The answer was Brandon Marshall.
Oh, okay.
Who did it. And our trivia expert, Jake, was not at trivia that night, and I sent him that question, and he said Brandon Cooks. And I was like, no. And then I looked it up, and sure enough, he did. For whatever reason, he just can't stick with a team. He's been very productive.
That. Yeah. I don't understand that. But I think, he did get a big payday at one point. So I know some of it was...
Who was that with? Saints? He's been with the Texans. He's been with the Patriots.
Like the Rams gave him money.
Right, huh?
Was it the Rams? I was assuming the Texans because he's been with the Texans for a little minute.
It was because he started with the Saints. I don't think the Saints paid him big. Then he went to New England, right? And then New England traded him to the Rams. I think it was with the Rams. Somewhere in that but we'll have to go. I'll look up his contract while we're
You guys got
talking.
to witness their primes earlier, just pedaling back to Brandon Marshall. Start bench cut. Brandon Marshall, Terrell Owens, Chad Ochocinco.
As much as I hate to say it, you start T.O.
Yeah, and you probably cut Brandon Marshall.
I might cut. That other one's tough.
Ocho was really good for a good.
I know, he was great. I would probably cut Ocho though.
I saw one that was like that. It was Terrell Owens, Steve Smith, and Ochocinco.
Yeah, and I loved it because the comments everybody was saying to start Steve Smith, and it was like, thank you, I need that respect.
I don't like T.O. Part of it is
I don't dislike him.
When he was a Cowboy, I couldn't root for him. He's kind of got the Deion Sanders problem for me because looking back, I love watching old Deion highlights and the flair and the high stepping and the hand behind the helmet and the dance. But he always played for teams that I hated, so I hated him. And T.O. played for the Eagles, the Cowboys. I didn't want to root for the Niners, but so I'd never liked him. But you cannot deny the numbers that he put up, which is why if you give me T.O. or Smitty, I personally like Smitty more, but I would start T.O.
T.O. was really good.
He was.
He was amazing.
Is Ocho a Hall of Famer? I don't think so. Jamie's asking, but he's got amazing numbers. Let's look up.
Brandon Marshall's 12,000-yard receiver. I would say that Steve Smith has a better argument than Brandon Marshall.
So Brandon Marshall had 12. Ocho is 11.
Oh, okay. Short career though, 10 years.
Wait, you said Steve Smith has a better chance than Brandon Marshall
of going of just making the Hall?
Oh, absolutely.
Because he's got 1,400 yards. How many touchdowns does Brandon Marshall have? That's the. I think Steve Smith has like 82 touchdowns.
Steve Smith is a Triple Crown winner.
I know. But never gets a lot of respect.
Is he the last Triple Crown winner?
The Panther.
No, Cooper Kupp.
All right, B. Marshall, 83 touchdowns.
Yeah. See, Steve Smith's got him in yardage and touchdowns.
Who votes on the Hall of Fame? Is it right? I feel like, Tony,
Probably CW.
If you played for a...
it was the Rams, by the way, that gave Brandon Marshall $81 million. Wow. He only got 38 of it, though.
Let's say you're just trying to break a tie or whatever. Maybe this is just me, but like playing your career mostly for one team gives me you get an edge over a guy that was a bit of a journeyman. Like Brandon Marshall. In the Steve Smith, Brandon Marshall, does that matter to you at all?
Yeah, I mean, Michael Jordan's better than LeBron James. Duh.
Yeah, you just solved it right there.
I think Steve Smith gets slept on a lot, too, for the fact of quarterback play. Like, he was able to be that good.
Okay, well, I mean, do you want to look at Brandon Marshall's quarterback?
I know. Yeah.
I would like to say that the quarterbacks Brandon Marshall played with are a bit better than the ones that Steve.
So he had Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
Who did
twice?
He had.
Did he have Jay Cutler twice?
Denver and Chicago?
Yeah.
Maybe so. Yeah, you're right. I don't know who was the quarterback in Miami in 2010.
Tannehill, maybe.
And then he was on the Jets.
That was Fitzpatrick.
The best question for the best trivia question is what were the final two teams Brandon Marshall played on in 17 and 18? Because I don't remember him being a Giant or a Seahawk.
Oh,
so he played for a bunch of teams. So what are you disrespecting Jake Delhomme? Wow,
I love Jake Delhomme. He's just
Yeah. I think, and he also played with the guy you want in the Hall of Fame, Cam Newton, and you're complaining about his quarterbacks. Get out of here.
And Joe Flacco.
Get out of here.
The Cam Newton and Steve Smith era did not last long whatsoever.
Joe Flacco.
The elite Joe Flacco? This guy played with the elite quarterbacks his entire career,
Let's not go elite here. Let's be careful on that one. But there is and what you're kind of talking about, too, is like how, I mean, such a team sport is, as a player, so dependent on a number of factors. And really what the problems for some of these guys, like a Steve Smith, is no ring. Yeah. And that is if the Panthers win the Super Bowl in 2003 and he has that playoff run, and then you remember him as that and the Triple Crown winner, and goes on to put on his numbers, he's a first ballot.
Well, a guy that could
first ballot and probably one of the best seasons for a wide receiver.
Yeah, Steve Smith's numbers. Do the comparison between Steve Smith and Andre Johnson.
Okay, I was about to bring him up because I think if you could do the quarterback complaint for anybody, you could do Andre Johnson.
Yeah, I mean
Andre
Johnson was pretty awesome.
Good.
Yeah. He was, but there is one other thing too. When you have when you play on a terrible team, you do, and your
stats get inflated.
Yeah, because it's like the Blake Bortles effect.
That's the fantasy football effect.
Yeah.
You're like, why would you have this guy on your team?
Yeah, it's like I take it first round Blake Bortles because he's going to throw 3 touchdowns in the last 4 minutes.
The entire second half they're throwing the ball and you're getting points. Andre Johnson.
Same stats, dude.
I'll just say, looking through this, and he had 14,000, but he had some monster years, 1575, 1569. But it looks like Ocho might have had a more consistent career than Andre Johnson.
How?
Because Ocho, I'm going to say, had
just
more
shorter.
1,000-yard seasons.
5 years shorter.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back more with Tony Dunn. We'll see what's going on in Pantherland when we return. Pirate Radio Live here on a Friday, a free beer Friday. And I'll break that beer out when we return and throw it up on the desk here. More to go. PRL. Back with you after this.
Everyone's watching to see what you do.
It's the summer shopping season at Brown & Wood. Here with Jeff Stein. Jeff, I've noticed a lot of great GMC pickup trucks on the lot.
Yes, sir. We have 2500s and 1500s in stock and the all-new 3.0 Duramax diesel. We earn 30 extra trucks on allocation, so go online, brownandwood.com, or stop in, build your truck. We'll get it coming for you. Brown & Wood, voted #1 by the customer in Greenville 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 rooftops, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
Did you know that it's illegal to dig without first calling 811? 811 is a free program that locates underground utilities, marking them with flags and paint lines so you know where not to dig. Accidentally digging into utility lines interrupts service and could seriously hurt you or someone else. If you know someone who's planning to dig, encourage them to call 811 at least 3 full working days before they dig. 811 is free, it's safe, and it's the law. This message is brought to you by Greenville Utilities and this station.
Do you want to get rid of wrinkles, tighten and lift your skin, smooth skin texture, erase veins and brown spots, and get rid of unwanted hair? Are you interested in Botox or filler? Contact the licensed professionals at Beauty Bar MediSpa on Red Banks Road in Greenville. Free consultations available. Visit us at beautybarmedispa.com. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Enjoy your visit. Love your transformation. Go Pirates!
With US Cellular, it's just $19.99 per line for 1, 2, or 3 lines. So you don't need that robot daughter you built to get a 4th line for family plan pricing.
Oh, Robe Elizabeth? She's not gonna like that.
The robots will prevail.
Oh boy.
Get the low rate of $19.99 per line. US Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
We value human connection with fewer distractions. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Visit your U.S. Cellular authorized agent, Atlantic Wireless, with locations in Snow Hill, Bellhaven, and Greenville.
Hurry to Bostic Sugg Furniture's end-of-season sale for amazing once-a-season savings on stylish looks for your entire home. Right now, get $100 in MasterCard Rewards cards for every $1,000 you spend. Plus, we pay your sales tax. Let us help you find the perfect mattress. Save 20% off, plus get $100 in MasterCard Rewards cards for every $1,000 you spend on select mattresses. Get amazing savings during Bostic Sugg Furniture's end-of-season sale, going on now.
360 Golf Carts is Pitt County's go-to shop for all things golf carts. They have easy-go, club car, and utility carts to choose from. Whether it's for the beach, riding around the neighborhood, or working in the yard, 360 Golf Carts has the perfect ride for you. If you have issues with your current cart, take it by the 360 shop for an expert's diagnosis. From parts to sales to service, 360 has you covered. They will even deliver right to you. Visit Brian Harris today on Highway 43, just past D.H. Conley High School. 360 Golf Carts, Pirates supporting Pirates.
Skip the cooking this week and liven up your gathering with catering from Jimmy John's. Choose from a variety of mouth-watering Jimmy John's specialties, including box lunches, tasty sides, 18 or 30-piece party boxes, or 12 packs of mini Jimmys, made to order on fresh-baked bread with hand-sliced meats and fresh veggies. Pick it up, or they'll set it up for you. And don't forget Jimmy John's loyalty app with a free sandwich after your first visit.
Jimmy John's, with 3 locations in Greenville. Order online at jimmyjohns.com. Go Pirates!
Have you ever seen those exotic aquariums like the guys do in Las Vegas on television? You ever thought about having one of these aquariums in your business? It's more affordable than you think. This is Hal Pruitt with rentafishtank.com. We can make having an aquarium in your business turnkey with no work, cleaning, or hassles for you. Rentafishtank.com creates a relaxing atmosphere and keeps children occupied. Rentafishtank.com already services many dental, pediatric, and doctor offices, plus hospitals and senior living centers. Check us out at rentafishtank.com.
This is Dale Murphy, 2-time National League MVP and number 3 with the Atlanta Braves. And you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by Country Mart. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations, in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food and your engines with great gasoline. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Do you need custom t-shirts, apparel, or promotional items for your business, organization, or event? We'll keep it local and print it local with University Sportswear. Contact them today at universitysportswearenc.com, the official sportswear provider of Pirate Radio. Now let's head back in to PRL. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
Back with you, Pirate Radio Live, Free Beer Friday. Today we are giving a case away, and it's a case of Busch Light Peach. I saw Chandler come in with some Busch Light Peach, and he brought it in on a Friday because he didn't want it to sit in his car during the show, so he brought it inside and then took it home and whatever. And I was like, Busch Light Peach. He was like, man, this is good. I'm telling you, this is good. Joey Also a Busch Light Peach fan.
Real good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, if you need a beer, drink in the sun,
Yeah.
enjoy the summer.
Good summer beer.
Life's
Light
a peach on the beach.
There you go. Busch. So Busch Light Peach on the line today. We will be giving away a case in hour number 3. Real quick, and before we move away from the receiver chat, I was thinking about this during the break because earlier this week it was announced that Julius Peppers and Muhsin Muhammad would be in the Panthers Hall of Honor.
Yeah.
Whatever. The Panthers and that Super Bowl, it was a loss, so you don't like looking back at it, Tony, but just the bombs all over the field, to Moose, to Smitty. The Panthers have not come close to a receiving duo to Smitty and Moose, right?
Oh, no. In fact, I wrote a story about this for the website recently, and that is Ted Ginn. Well, the title of the story was The Sad Story of Ted Ginn Jr. in Carolina. And the basic starting point is Ted Ginn Jr. the 4th best receiver in Panther history? Now, a lot of people are going to say no, but it goes Steve Smith, Muhsin Muhammad, and then we're at DJ Moore.
Yeah.
We're at DJ Moore. When it just comes to productivity, you could say a couple of names like Ricky Prohl. All of his work was done with Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona to St. Louis. You could talk about, who was it?
Carrier.
Thank you.
Mark Carrier.
Also work done before he got to Carolina. I mean, you could go, I guess you could say Keyshawn, who played like 5 minutes in Carolina. But you see, all of this, when it comes to actual productivity, we're talking names like, you're getting names like this: Kelvin Benjamin, Devin Funchess.
I'm looking at the all-time list. It is not pretty.
No, it falls off a cliff after. And the fact that DJ Moore is on the list is kind of wild in some ways.
So out of the Panthers' top 6 receivers all time, only 3 of them are wide receivers.
I knew he was going to say that. I'm looking at the same
And so
thing.
when I looked at it too, I tried to eliminate all of those too. And I think there's only like one other team in NFL history that has like a worse receiving history than ours. I mean, maybe the Commanders could be in there. I mean, but you have 2 from the 80s.
But with Art Monk and Gary Clark, and even before that, I think Charlie Taylor. Like
after 3, you know what I'm saying? How many have more than 3 in their?
I didn't recognize any of those names.
They're all 80s.
Because you are, you don't do your research. You don't respect no respect to you.
Respect
for your history.
Well, I mean, that shows you how much of a.
Oh, you don't know any names? How about Donald Hayes, Chosen Anderson? Who the hell is Chosen Anderson?
That's Robbie Anderson.
He's on the Dolphins now.
Brandon LaFell. He has fail.
I have his signature and his LSU card.
He has fail in his name. Kerry Colbert, Patrick Jeffers. I remember him. You got a fullback up here. This is how crappy the top 25 receiver all
time. Look up the Bears.
You got a fullback.
Look up the Bears. Theirs is pretty horrendous, man.
Well, that's because you want to go back to quarterback play. The Bears
never had a receiver throw over 4,000 yards. I mean, a quarterback throw over 4,000 yards.
But going back to your point, too, about the Steve Smith, Muhsin Muhammad duo, not only was it the best, it's always been something that the Panthers have been trying to replicate for so long. And when Moose went to Chicago, interesting, both players had Peppers and Moose did stints in Chicago, then came back home, finished their careers in Carolina. We tried to go Dwayne Jarrett, right? You know, so some guy like you're trying, Brandon LaFell. Brandon LaFell actually turned out to be one of the better receivers. I really think the argument for the next on the list, number 4, I think you can make plausible arguments for Kelvin Benjamin, yuck. Devin Funchess, yuck.
For that, man.
I know. Who was that? Brandon LaFell. I think there's all plausible arguments.
So you're not arguing Ginn at all? Is that the point?
Well, or Ginn. You know what I'm saying? But who could really? And I mean, honestly, if you looked at what Ginn did in the short amount of time he was here, Devin Funchess actually was on pace until he just forgot how to catch him when he went home. In one game, it was one game in Detroit. He went home to his home field or whatever, and they made a big deal about it. Him going back home story. and he dropped 5 passes in a row or something like this. It was just like the most horrific game anyone could have, and then he just stunk from then on.
So what is the best duo you've had on the field since Moose and Smitty? Is it Smitty and somebody else?
And
is
Curtis.
it DJ and Samuel?
It was probably
like who were Smitty's number 2? It's all those guys we
who
just
would it
mentioned.
been? Maybe it would have been Smitty and LaFell in 2013. DJ and Curtis Samuel, but I don't feel like they were on the maybe that.
They had one good year together, and I thought like, it'd be nice to see them run it again the next year, and then that following year is when Curtis.
Maybe it was 2015. Maybe it was Ted Yin Jr., Devin Funchess. We could go Philly Brown. No, so it's a sad story. That's why this. I thought
you mentioned your guy. You're bird watching.
Yeah,
Demir Bird,
who's back on the team right here.
Is he really?
Yeah.
You can get him back on the podcast.
He won't message me anymore. He's too cool now.
He made it too big.
I'm like your only fan.
I know, dude.
I'm like your only fan. I even got a call sign, chirp chirp.
Birdman.
Yeah.
Flying anywhere.
We're working on some things right now. We got. I'm trying to get Brian Burns' brother, Loki.
He's super active.
Yeah. Also, his name is Sam McClover. He used to play for the Panthers, actually. He's going to come on our live broadcast when we're going to be in Spartanburg if he's there the same day.
When you're going to be in Spartanburg?
Yeah.
When are you going?
I am going to be, actually. In fact, I'm going to have to be on the phone for not next Friday, I believe.
2 Friday?
Yeah.
Awesome. So y'all are just setting up somewhere?
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we'll be down there. Yeah, and on Thursday, the 27th, we'll be at Monster Subs. And we're doing this not as one of our listeners and supporters of the show owns Monster Subs. So we said, man, let's just give you back something since you've been supporting the podcast so long. So we're going to go do a live podcast or live show right after practice on Thursday, the 27th.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Good stuff, Tony. All right, and we are about out of time. So we got your promo in. Anything, any Panthers?
Ooh, Panthers. Yeah, well, let's talk about this. We got some new gear out on CarolinaCatChronicles.com. You can get a C3 Panthers podcast mug, coffee mug now. You can get podcast T-shirts, and we also have one. We're starting a new line of clothing called the G Baby line, which is one of our callers, and he's like a very bombastic personality. So we have the "You Make Me Effing Sick."
So that's like a reference that.
That's how he starts a lot of his calls.
All right, and that'd be great to wear after a 20-point loss to the Saints on a Sunday.
Totally.
So everybody pick one of those up. Tony, thanks for hanging out, man. So next week we'll do another one of these shows. But really, after that, it's kind of full steam ahead. We'll have training camp, we'll have preseason, and the season itself. So we almost made it once again through the off season.
Yeah, we're here making it right now.
And finally got. Once I start, I can't stop. Finally got the group text going with fantasy. So now I'm about to start doing mocks and listening to pods, and all that's getting cranked up.
It's happening. Yeah. You're going to be a Miles Sanders fan before you know it.
I think you're trying to talk me into drafting him in the first round. All right, let's take a break. When we return, we'll talk a little golf with Mark Greenhalgh, Golf Shop Radio Show. He'll join us here on Pirate Radio Live, less than a week away from the start of the Open Championship. We'll talk about that and more when we return after this.
What's up there, Pirate Nation? Kyle Gaines here from Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram here in Washington, North Carolina. This just came in, just announced 10% off MSRP on all 23 Ram Bighorns. That's right, huge savings, 10% off window sticker on these 23 Bighorns. And it is that time of year, it is Wrangler season. We have a huge selection of Jeep Wranglers, Gladiators, soft top, hard tops. So come check us out here at Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Remember, drive a little, save a lot. Go Pirates.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville. Do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers. Real burgers at its best. Everybody loves burgers.
This is Talbot Green with Integrity Home Mortgage. Are you ready and pre-approved if the home you want to purchase comes for sale today? Integrity Home Mortgage offers a wide variety of programs ranging from conventional, government, and portfolio loans, plus construction and lot loans. Our team of Talbot Green, Braxton Green, and Joanne Weir offers over 50 years of experience.
To get started, call me, Braxton Green, at 526-8260.
Braxton Green, NMLS 222-3878. For informational purposes only, Integrity Home Mortgage Corporation is an equal housing lender, NMLS 208516.
Come pop a top at Jarvis Street Bottle Shop. Jarvis Street Bottle Shop is a specialty shop selling craft, domestic, and import brews, along with wine and growlers. Hosting a tailgate? Stop by the shop and grab a keg for your party or event. The Bottle Shop offers monthly beer and wine tastings featuring rotating NC craft breweries, along with live music and discounts. Stop by the shop Tuesday through Sunday, or check them out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Be sure to check out David Price Construction for all of your commercial or custom residential renovation and building needs. Run by ECU alumni, David Price Construction specializes in commercial projects, maintenance on facilities, and large-scale residential renovations and additions. Proud to be voted the Remodeler of the Year by the Home Builders Association of Raleigh-Wake County in 2018 and Best Business Commercial Remodel Project winner for 2020. David Price Construction, the proud ECU Home Services partner.
Nothing freshens up a space like a new coat of paint, and no one east of Raleigh makes painting easier than CertaPro. Residential or commercial, inside and outside, CertaPro is your dependable painting experts. CertaPro's concern is about getting your painting done right and making sure you're satisfied. Whether you have a large or small job, professional quality is what you will get. Let us come to your home or business and give you a free quote. CertaPro takes all the worry away from your painting project. Go to CertaPro.com and click on Clayton Greenville. That's CertaPro. CertaPro.
Do you need custom t-shirts, apparel, or promotional items for your business, organization, or event? Keep it local and print it local with University Sportswear. University Sportswear is your one-stop shop to help promote your business and always provide superior customer service. No matter what apparel you need for your team or customers, University Sportswear can make it happen. Visit universitysportswearenc.com for contact information. University Sportswear, the official sportswear provider of Pirate Radio. Go Pirates!
Wally's 2 Kettle Corn in Winterville is where you can find the tastiest popcorn around. Make it a movie night at home with Wally's 2 Kettle Corn. They have over 50 flavors to choose from, including classics like cheddar, caramel, and my favorite, better butter. Or try their specialty flavors such as Chicago Style, Wintergreen Mix, and MJ's Cheesecake. Wally's 2 also caters, so if you're hosting a party or event, satisfy your company with delicious popcorn. Check them out on Facebook or stop by and see Wally today on Fire Tower Road across from Sam Jones Barbecue. Wally's 2 Kettle Corn. Make it a poppin' day.
Pirate Radio.
I can promise you, we are going to be a hard-nosed, physical, fundamentally sound, disciplined football team. We're going to compete and go toe-to-toe with anybody we match up against. But that's going to be our mentality year-round.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by Country Mart. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations, in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food and your engines with great gasoline. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Watch all of Pirate Radio's local programming on YouTube Live. You can watch Pirate Radio Live Monday through Friday from 3 until 6 p.m. and the Bud Light pregame tailgate in the U.S. Cellular 5th quarter on game days. All you have to do is go to YouTube, search Pirate Radio TV, and then click on that subscribe button. And while you're at it, click on the like button as well. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's your host, Clip Rock.
Got a lot of goodies up on YouTube. This program, of course, will have the Brian Bailey Show when that returns not too long from now in August. And also interviews with Josh Grosz. The video with Holton Ahlers that we did yesterday. So a lot of great stuff. If you like what we do on the radio, there's so much more out there available for you on, of course, Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, but also the video side of things on YouTube. So make sure you're checking that out. We'll, of course, have a lot going on with ECU Fall Camp, which is coming up soon, with player interviews, coach interviews. So, subscribe to our YouTube. Give us a like. And great respect to those like Jamie and our others, Brandon and Jerry and Steve and the regulars, Chad, all the crew. And, hey, Randolph was in here as well.
Just ton of respect.
Ton of respect. In fact, Destry said, East Carolina basketball leads the nation in respect.
Just ton of respect for Campbell and their program and their coaching staff.
Randolph said, good to see Chandler and Jenny last night at AJ's. I got a question. Where is Chandler?
I thought he mentioned something about going home today, but I honestly...
After the show.
After the show? Okay. Then I don't have a clue where Chandler is.
Joey, where's Chandler?
He texted me to confirm whether I was coming in to help him open up the show, but I mean, he didn't give me any details.
I'm gonna call him and see if he'll answer.
Oh, you better be careful.
Why?
Because you know sometimes he likes to let one loose.
On a 4:30.
He ain't gonna answer. Where is he at? He was like, yeah, I might not be here for the start of the show. Joey's coming in.
Hello.
Chandler.
What's up?
Where are you?
I'm riding around doing some sales stuff, man. I got a haircut and
a haircut during the show? You're live on the air, by the way, so don't say anything bad.
No, that was before the show happened. That was about between 2 and 2:30, and then been riding around doing some sales stuff. Just stopped by the house, finished packing. I'm about to head back to the studio here soon.
All right. Well, we're an hour and 47 minutes into this program, so just letting you know.
I've been tuning in.
Oh, thanks. Hey, great respect to you for listening.
Hey, big fan of the show.
I'd love for you to be a part of it, maybe an hour 3.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay. Well, look, if it inconveniences you, don't. If you got other things to do, go by the house, get a haircut, whatever. That's fine.
Nah, man. I texted Joey. I was like, "Look," I said, "I got some stuff to do this afternoon.
All right.
If you don't mind being here, he's doing a good job. So I think I trained him well. And
I'm not saying we need you here. Joey's doing a fantastic job. I'm just wondering where the hell you are. Like, I didn't know.
No, it sounds like you miss me. What's the deal here?
It's more of a curiosity thing. Like, I got hair coming out my neck, and I plan to cut it this weekend. I didn't even think about getting a haircut during the show. Maybe I'll plan a haircut for like Monday at 4.
Well, if you need me to cover you, I got you. But like I said, the haircut was not during the show; it was before the show. And then I had some clients to go see, some prospects to go see. Look, I'm trying to get some new people on for football season, some awesome sponsors. That way, if we have one of those segments at the end of the show when we shout out our sponsors, maybe we can have some new ones.
Yeah. Well, are those sponsors hanging out at your house or helping you pack? Where?
In the kitchen.
I just got here, man. Can you calm down?
I like pushing Chandler to the point where he gets real upset with me and then apologizing for it. Love you, buddy. All right, we'll see you.
All right, I'll see you. I'll be there in about 30 minutes.
30 minutes?
Show's
over.
Why
even okay, all right. I'm stopping. I'm not going to say anything else. All right, see you, buddy. Great respect. Great respect to you.
Y'all have a good show. Bye.
Y'all have a good show. That means he's not even coming.
What in the world? He's like, that was not at 3. That was at 2:30. Okay, I'm going to schedule a haircut for next Monday at 2:30. I may not be here by the showtime, but at least I'll have a haircut. Oh, Chan, man. He's the man.
I'll be there in 30 minutes. The show's going to be over in 30 minutes.
That's going to be at 5:20, and usually, Shirley, 30 minutes means like 35:40. So now we're looking at 5:30, and we're going to run a Josh Grosz interview around that time, which he's not a part of. So he's looking at about 5 to 7 minutes of showtime today. But got a haircut.
And I got a haircut today too, but I'm here.
I mean, I had never thought about planning to get a haircut.
You gotta schedule your haircuts better, Shirley.
Yeah. Next time, do it around 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, because if I did it at 4:30 in the afternoon, you'd lose your mind.
Who?
You.
Shirley. When have I lost my mind?
I'm starting to get the hang of the soundboard.
I'm just saying. Oh.
Don't say that.
I've never even tried it.
No, I'm just saying.
Shirley,
like
if you didn't show up for a show like we just did with Chandler, I would be concerned. Like, seriously, like, I would try to get up with Cashel, who I know is your friend on the police, and be like, Shirley is not here, and she did not tell us that she wouldn't be here. I would be worried. I wouldn't be upset.
Well, yeah, that is true because
yeah.
I do tend, I usually try to communicate with you guys if something comes up. And
you always do.
Yeah.
This is just a dude, like, hands in his pockets, skipping around the street with whistling while he's got a show going on that he's usually a part of.
He's walking down the street just Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Just Scooby-Dooby. Yeah, on a Friday. Chris Floyd said, busted. Stop by the Teat for some steaks and brews. Probably. Who knows what he's been up to? In fact, if he does show up, I want to get a full... I've been watching interrogation videos on YouTube. I like true crime, and I've been diving into those. And they like to do a full rundown, like a suspect, of your day. So I want to know minute by minute what he's been doing.
All right, so at 9:22 this morning, where were you?
I need the full Chandler schedule of what he's been doing.
He'll give it to you, too.
They probably will. All right, let's hit our Greeny interview real quick, Shirley. Mark Greenhalgh, Golf Shop Radio Show, joining us today on the Pirate Radio Live line. Greeny, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Great to be back on.
Yes, sir. And got some stuff going on in the golf world. Our own Chandler Honeycutt, Pirate Radio producer, has a member guest tournament he's been looking forward to tomorrow. So kind of hot out there for these golfers, right, Greeny? You better grab some extra fluids if you're hitting the course these days here in the eastern North Carolina or anywhere in the south to southeast in July.
Oh, this is the weather I love. This is awesome stuff. The ball flies a long way. But, yeah, you do have to keep yourself hydrated. But this is like ideal weather. Even though you get a little bit of humidity, it's so warm, the ball is just going to go forever. So you got to kind of watch your distance control a little bit.
Greeny, let's talk about what's going on in the pro golf world this week. And you got the Genesis Scottish Open going on, also the Barbasol Championship. So they're out in Scotland, they're out in Kentucky. I know we talked about this a couple weeks ago with you, that do you go ahead and maybe try to get a feel for the Open that's coming up next week, or do you stay around the States, or do you not play at all? So when you look at the fields and who's playing where, what can we gather from that?
So these are both PGA Tour and DP World Tour fields. So it's coach-sanctioned events for both of these. So what you have is your top-tier players are playing in the Scottish Open, and then guys that are still searching for it a little bit are playing at the Barbasol. So you're going to see the majority of the people that are playing at the Genesis will end up playing in the Open Championship. Probably the winner of the Barbasol will get to jump on a plane and head on over to the Hoylake or Royal Liverpool, whichever one you want to call it, and get a chance to tee it up. So that's kind of what you're looking for through the weekend, is to see who's setting themselves up to have a big weekend, who's actually going to have an opportunity to get over there.
Greeny, kind of set up the course we'll see next week at Royal Liverpool. What's it going to play like? What do you think the winning score might be? What kind of tournament are we looking forward to next week?
So here's an interesting little tidbit, is that the last two winners at Royal Liverpool are Rory McIlroy in 2014 and Tiger Woods in 2006. Now, when Tiger won in 2006, it was dry as a bone. Tiger never hit driver off of any hole because there's a lot of bunkers out there, and you don't want to get in the bunkers off the tee. So he kind of used his 2-iron stinger, guided himself around the golf course, never hit it in a bunker, and won the golf tournament, I believe, at like 18 under par. Flip side, Rory McIlroy in 2014, it was the exact opposite. It was wet, had been raining a lot, everything was lush, didn't get a whole lot of roll, everything would hit and stop, and lo and behold, he won at 17 under par. So it seems like no matter what conditions we get, we're probably going to get somewhere in the 10 to probably 15 under par range. Seems like a comfortable one. And again, Rory McIlroy, the defending champion at that golf course. By the way, Sergio Garcia and Ricky Fowler both tied for second that week in 2014.
Yeah, those some of those names have been at the top of the leaderboard here in big events of recent note. And Greeny, on that note, who do you like to win it? Who are some of your dark horses? Who you keeping an eye on next week in the Open?
I mean, I'm still going with Rory McIlroy. I mean, obviously good vibes at that golf course. We've seen that when Rory does have good vibes in place, or if he has bad vibes in place like Augusta National, how things play out. So he is still hitting the ball as good as anybody. I mean, leading the Scottish Open right now. He's only got a one-shot lead, but, man, I'll tell you what, it's the same story that we've seen over and over with Rory McIlroy. I mean, he could be leading this thing by 10 shots if the putts had fallen today. He missed a lot of opportunities to make birdies. And it's going to really come down to, for me, Rory McIlroy, not the ball striking, not anything else, but probably making putts inside of 20 feet and inside of 10 feet. Is he making those birdie putts, or is it like the Open Championship last year and what we saw in the U.S. Open this year, where everything just seems to roll right by the edge? It seems like he's hitting good putts, just maybe not reading them properly. So he is definitely on the top of my list. And then, again, you and I have talked about this before, Cliff. You look at guys who have been playing well. I mean, Scotty Scheffler's in contention this week at -7. Max Homa is in there at -6. So, and again, Ricky Fowler at -6. So you got to look at guys that have been playing well recently and guys that traditionally do well. Brooks Koepka is somebody to keep an eye on. He's kind of snuck around at the Open Championship before, but somebody that you kind of want to look at, but not necessarily, is John Rahm. He plays his worst major championship at the Open Championship, probably because it's the one he wants to win the most.
Mark Greenelge, Golf Shop Radio Show. Good info if you are in a pool or able to maybe place a wager on what's coming up next week in the Open. And we talk about Rory McIlroy. Saw he was in the news, Greeny, after meeting with reporters and said, quote, "If Live Golf was the last place to play golf on earth, I would retire. That's how I feel about it. I'd play the majors, but I'd be pretty comfortable," end quote. So where are we at, Greeny? I hadn't talked to you in a few weeks about the whole Live and World Golf Tour and PGA and all that. Where are we at with that right now?
Well, we're in Senate hearings, so the U.S. government has obviously gotten involved. Why, I have no particular. We found out a lot of the things, and one of the things why Rory was getting asked questions again is because in some of the initial paperwork, it was requested by the PIF that they wanted Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods to be captains of teams and play in 10 events. So Rory's name being tossed around again. Of course, why wouldn't you want the two of the best players in the world and the biggest names and the biggest draws to be one of your captains for your team? So, we found that stuff out. We had a board member from the PGA Tour, the former AT&T CEO, step down. I don't know if that's more for morals or appearance or what it was, but it's interesting. Nobody else has really followed suit on that. So, again, we're just finding out some tidbits, like Greg Norman has to leave a month after the deal goes in place, and little tidbits like that back and forth. What this deal is going to finally look like, we still have no idea, but it seems like as Jay Monahan comes back to work on July 17th, that a lot of the players are looking for him to have to regain their trust going forward.
Mark Greenelge, Golf Shop Radio Show, joining us. Greeny, before we find out what's going on Saturday's edition of the Golf Shop Radio Show, what else? Anything else you're following in the sports world these days? I'm a Braves fan, so I keep up with baseball, but for me, it's a lot of football previews and kind of diving into that. We got Phil Steele coming up on Tuesday on the show, and got his magazine, so starting to thumb through that a little bit. How about you? What's other than golf? What are you paying attention to in the sports world?
Well, it's always curious that, being a Boston sports fan, I continue to follow the Red Sox. I'm not a huge baseball fan, but it's interesting that they're 5 games over 500, and they are in dead last place in their division.
You're in the wrong division this year, Greeny.
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of 9 games out and in 5th place in their division against the one of the best teams in the league in Tampa Bay. So kind of watching to see how the second half of that season is going to play out for them. And, of course, getting ready for a little Clemson football. Looks like I'm going to be going to the Clemson-Florida State game, Clemson, on September 23rd, because you know what? Everybody's saying that the Seminoles are the odds-on favorite to win the ACC, so let's go ahead and get a good close-up look at them.
That'll be a big one. Greeny, what you got planned for Saturday's edition of the Golf Shop Radio Show?
So we are going to talk to a legal party, John Nucci, who's going to give us some legal analysis about this whole PGA Senate hearing and everything that's going on. So interesting that you asked about that, because we're going to dive a little deeper into the legal side of things and where it stands. We're going to catch up with Bill Bender of the Sporting News, and he's been attending some of the previews and will continue to attend previews for college football, so we'll get some insight from him as well. And then we're going to talk with New York Golf Magazine's John Glozik and see what's happening in the world of golf from his perspective. And I'm sure he's probably getting ready for the Open Championship, so we'll get a little more insight around the Open Championship. So good stuff on Saturday.
All right, big show on Saturday. We'll be talking Open Championship with Greeny coming up next Friday right here on Pirate Radio Live. Greeny, have a good show on Saturday. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right, thanks, Cliff. Have a good one.
Mark Greenhelge, Golf Shop Radio Show, joining us, and you can check it out 8 to 10 a.m. Saturday right here on Pirate Radio. Let's take a break. When we return, we got our big beer giveaway, Busch Light Peach case. We got Morgan Ahlers. We got Josh Grosz. And maybe Chandler shows up for work. We'll find out when we return after this.
Pirate fans, the East Carolina football season is just around the corner, and there's no better time than to guarantee your seat to see the Birmingham Bowl champs at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. Season ticket packages are as low as $115 in the fan zone. Pirate Club chairback seats can be purchased for $325. The six-game home slate kicks off September the 9th against the Marshall Thundering Herd. Get your season tickets today by calling 1-800-DIAL-ECU or go to ECUPirates.com.
Serving those who serve is a lifelong mission, one that Budweiser supports with Folds of Honor. Together, they've been helping military families for over 13 years by funding life-changing scholarships. So join me in raising a Budweiser to raise funds for families for American heroes. Grab a case of Budweiser today at your favorite local retailer. Proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing, supporting our military veterans and the Pirate Nation since 1989. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Budweiser, Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Dr. Andrew Bridgeforth from Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center. Our practice has been caring for the athletes at ECU and the residents of Eastern North Carolina for more than 35 years. Whether it's treatment for your sports injury or it's time for that joint replacement, Orthopedics East provides the latest in operative and non-operative orthopedic care. We also offer on-site physical therapy and MRI services, as well as walk-in urgent care on the weekends from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. For experienced and professional care, call us at 757-BONE or visit us online at orthoeast.com. Go Pirates!
Your vehicle is a big part of your life. That's why you should trust the team at Greenville Auto World for all things automotive. Greenville Auto World is now under new ownership by the Cook Management Group, but still believes in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right. Tommy Cook and his team now have 5 dealerships in Eastern North Carolina with a fully stocked inventory of SUVs, trucks, and cars. For sales or service, visit Greenville Auto World on Highway 43 or greenvilleautoworld.net. Pirates supporting pirates. UBE and PirateWear.com are proud to offer the Pirate Nation its largest inventory of ECU merchandise and tailgate supplies ever. UBE has the best prices in town, so that makes UBE your one-stop shop for all things ECU. UBE does daily restocks of Champion, Adidas, and Under Armour. Don't forget to bring your young Pirates to plunder the Crow's Nest, which is the only kids store dedicated to ECU. Plenty of free parking in Uptown Greenville. Visit them online at PirateWear.com. Go Pirates!
The Wood Ducks are at home this weekend versus the Charleston River Dogs, July 14th through the 16th. This Friday is Scout Night, and the first 1,000 fans will receive an avocado-themed beach t-shirt sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance and Conway Co. Saturday is Margaritaville Night, and fans will receive an avocado-themed bucket hat presented by UNC Lenore Health. Go online to get your tickets in advance at woodducksbaseball.com or head to the box office the day of the game. Hope to see you at Granger Stadium all weekend long. Go Woodies!
You've worked hard to make your business successful, and that's why it's really important to always have a bank in your corner when you need them. This is former ECU baseball player Ashley Capps from First Bank, and our experienced team of local bankers includes Lee Watson, Bonner Latham, Chris Richards, Josh Hooten, and Heath Nisbet. To get the business services that are right for your business today, come and see someone on our team at First Bank on Arlington Boulevard here in Greenville. First Bank, together with our customers, we're creating a world where individuals and communities thrive.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
University PC Care in Greenville and New Bern has been serving the tech repair needs of Eastern North Carolina since 2006. And as one of the only Apple authorized service providers east of Raleigh, all our technicians are Apple certified, and we only use genuine Apple parts. Your iPhone and Mac warranties are safe with us. Have questions or need service? Call 252-558-1280 or visit us online at universitypccare.com. University PC Care, your one-stop shop for service on everything Apple.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Tiebreakers is open every day at 11 a.m. and is the best place to watch your favorite sports while enjoying the best wings in town, along with sandwiches, appetizers, cold beer, and more. Follow Tiebreakers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates. Tiebreakers in Greenville at Bells Fork and in downtown Winterville on Railroad Street. Now let's head back in to PRL. Here's Clip.
Back with you, Pirate Radio Live on a Friday. Shirley, can we hook up with Morgan Ahlers here when you get a moment? Top stories of the day. Great respect to Mike Schwartz and the ECU basketball program. They are bringing in Mark Adams, big name in the college basketball world, former coach, head coach at Texas Tech, coming in as an assistant coach. Also, we've got more ECU baseball news. Recent former Pirates, Landon Ginn, signing with the Chicago Cubs, and former Pirate Bryant Packard staying in minor league baseball as a pitcher. And we talked to Mike Mullis earlier. He did some pitching for Conley and was always, he's one of those best players on your team kind of guy that did a little bit of everything. But Pack told me earlier today his back will not allow him physically to hit anymore. And I don't know the sports science behind it, but apparently he is able to throw, unlike his ability to hit. So we'll try it at the pitching route, which we wish him luck. And Pack, great guy. We'll get him on the show at some point. In fact, thought we were going to get him here very recently because I thought he might be hanging it up as far as his pro career, but no, he says he's on to his backup plan, which is pitching in minor league baseball. A Conley Viking to the pros, and another one of those we aired a quick little mini interview with earlier in the show, Holton Ahlers. We'll talk to a guy, our inside source for all things Holton Ahlers, Morgan Ahlers, also the voice of Dowdy Ficklin Stadium, voice of Minges Coliseum, and you'll see him at weddings and DJing and having a good old time. What's up, Morg?
Clip, how are you doing, sir? It's Friday, and it's always a pleasure to be on with you.
Always a pleasure, and Morgan, we appreciate you helping us get through these summer months with our Friday chats, and pretty soon it will be football, and pretty soon you'll be paying a lot of attention to Seattle Seahawks football. Great to catch up with Holton, and I know he has been really busy, but was able to catch up with him for a couple minutes yesterday. Said he really enjoyed his time in Seattle a month ago and is ready to go again here in a couple weeks, Morgan, as they get ready for training camp.
Yeah, he heads out, I think, on the 24th, and they start training camp on the 26th. He's actually will be heading down to Mobile to train for a couple days early next week, and he's been working hard, and he's in great shape, and very proud of him and the hard work he's put in, and hopefully it's going to pay off. They've got a good team out there, and he's just keeping his head down, studying, and trying to do everything he can to be successful.
Again, we only spent about 3 minutes with him in front of a camera, but talking to him off camera, I asked him, Morgan, how the the new quarterback rule. So I guess this comes into play. Mainly it came to the forefront when the 49ers ran out of quarterbacks in the playoffs, and what could have been a great game turned into just a laugher and a miserable game. So now you get an emergency quarterback spot where, as far as I understand it, your third quarterback is in uniform and available to play if needed. And that is a big deal for guys like Holton Ahlers, who is trying to make the team, trying to make the roster. Who knows? Could be a backup quarterback, but even if he is that third-string quarterback, not only, is he available on game days if needed, but also the fact that you're not a practice squad guy making practice squad money. You could be making, real deal roster money. So it's got a lot of implications. And I like the rule, if you're the NFL, that hopefully we won't have to see a wide receiver or Christian McCaffrey or somebody in playing quarterback anymore.
Yeah, it was a rule that was put in for, the Philly game last year, but also Miami ran into that situation. I think the last couple of games of the year, they were running their scout squad, which they had him on the scout squad. Basically, what the rule is, in most teams, you have 53 man. They call it the 53 man roster. And I didn't even know this part until earlier this year when this rule came out. Is that you don't dress 53 men game day. You have an active roster of 46 players. So you're still with 7 guys that aren't.
You know what, Morgan? And I always thought about it. They always put out an inactive list on Sunday mornings, and I never really put 2 and 2 together either. So those are guys on the active 53-man roster, but they're inactive for that particular game.
They are inactive for that game.
Yeah.
There's 7 of those guys. And what they did this year, because of the Tua situation last year in Miami, and that was one of the big reasons for, believe it or not, from the things I've read, versus the Philly game. That's a big part of it as well. But with the concussion protocols that were in place last year, really amped that up a lot. So if somebody takes a shot to the head and has any concussion symptoms, they're probably going to sit out the rest of the game.
Right.
The backup quarterback would be going in at that point. Then you've got the third quarterback, which is the emergency quarterback, that it has to be on the 53-man roster, but doesn't take up a space on the 46-man, and he becomes the 47th man.
10-4, yeah.
It can't be a defensive end or a linebacker, whatever it is. The 47th has to be a quarterback, and teams can opt to do that or not do it.
Oh, okay. So if you want to carry an extra guy or whatever, you could at another position, I guess? Is that what you're saying? Or?
You don't have to have, no, I'm just saying that the 47th man has to be a quarterback.
Okay, all right. And from what you understand, Morgan, let's use Seahawks terms. Geno injures his arm. Drew Lock goes in, has concussion-like symptoms, has to come out of the game. At that stage, Holton Ahlers could go in. But what if... Are you allowed to play all 3 if everybody's healthy, or does it have to be an injury situation? Do you know that?
From what I've heard, and this is just reading and listening to people talk about it. If the first quarterback goes out and gets hurt, second quarterback goes in and really stinks up the place.
Yeah.
But he still can play. He has to finish the game.
Right. Okay. Yep.
He goes in there and all of a sudden he says, "Oh, I hurt my back," because the coach goes over and says, "You just hurt your back." The third quarterback can go in. The second one is done for the night as well.
Can't come back. Okay.
Second quarterbacks are done for the night.
Well, Morgan, it doesn't take much for anybody to become an expert on this show. You are now our NFL rules analyst and expert. So congratulations on the promotion.
I appreciate it. I've worked really hard with it. Ask me about a rule, do it on Thursday before I talk about it on Friday.
There you go.
How about that?
Morgan, I got some hoops news today. Mark Adams joining the ECU staff, and as I said to Brian North earlier, if I told you a year ago from now that Mark Adams would be an assistant coach for ECU basketball, you'd say, well, what the heck happened? He had some things transpire there at Texas Tech, but another great defensive mind, well-respected in the game of basketball. That's pretty big. That's the second name added to the assistant coach bench this week for ECU. Reggie Williams was already on staff, but he gets promoted as an assistant, and now Mark Adams today. So it's been a big week for Mike Schwartz filling out his staff there.
It has, and fill me in a little bit because I was sort of out of the loop for about a week. I know that Reggie got promoted and lost one of the, I think
Nick Mattson, yeah,
to Texas. Who else left? Did he have a spot open on the staff that wasn't filled last year?
No, and I believe this has to do with maybe being able to add another assistant coach. And I am ignorant to that as well, Morgan. So I need to do some of my own research on that. But I don't think it was from a deletion. I think there might be where you're our rules guy, but not college basketball rules. The NCAA maybe added an extra spot where you could have another assistant coach. I believe that is the case here.
Oh, and that's fantastic because there's a lot of talented coaches out there that need to be moved up. Reggie was one of them. Really good guy. I like him. I thought that was a great move. And bringing in Coach Adams, I mean, that speaks for itself. He's a well-respected coach, and really got a big improvement to Coach Schwartz and his staff. It's going to be. I think Minji's going to be rocking a little bit this year. I think they've got some pieces in place that are going to be really fun to watch.
I'm ready, no doubt. And Morgan, it looks like there is a new NCAA rule that allows more assistant coaches to be on staff and on-court instructors at practice. So it's not you're right. It's not like we lost anybody else. It's that we can add an addition. So there you go.
There you go. Now you're my basketball rules official. Thank you.
I tell you what, between us, Morgan, we got this whole thing figured out.
We got it. Now and then we're going to go to soccer or something.
Well, speaking of which, you watching anything? I don't know. Summer league's on, MLB. Are you just kind of getting ready for football this time of year?
Sort of. I watched a little bit of the home run derby the other night.
Yeah.
I was working when the All-Star game was on and had it. It was a fun game to watch just from a distance because I couldn't hear it. But for the first time in a long time, it looked like the National League had lost 8 or 9 in a row before they won the other night. And those guys are really into it. They wanted to win that game, which was kind of neat to see because a lot of times they're throwaway games.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm not I used to love watching baseball, and I'll be the first one. I know you're a big Braves fan and really get into it. And it's hard for me to watch a 3.5, 4 hour game and don't have the time really, so I watch highlights a lot.
And I talked to somebody recently, and I don't remember who that person was, but they were telling me how their dad or uncle or somebody watched every single inning of every single game. And I am a huge Braves fan, but I can't do that. I watch a little bit of every series. Most of the time, Morgan, I just got my phone and I'm listening to the radio broadcast of it kind of as I'm doing stuff around the house. It is it's a chore to watch every single baseball game, but I try to be a fan where I know the score every night. I follow that on a score app if I'm not watching or listening, but I'll definitely keep up with every series. But yeah, I'll watch try to watch every minute of Commanders football and that stuff. But as far as baseball goes, don't put me down for 162 games. Can't do that.
Yeah, I just can't do it. I mean, I'll tell you how much I used to love watching baseball. We had my two boys were Jordan Nicholas and then Griffin Palmer, who named after Fred McGriff, and Arnold Palmer, and then Peyton Ryan after Peyton Manning and
Nolan Ryan. Yeah, that's awesome. Love getting the Crime Dog in there, Morgan. I was a big Crime Dog fan in the 90s. All right, Morgan Ahlers joining us. I saw, and we talk a little TV with Morgan, especially here during the summer. An interesting thread. I don't know if there's anything to this, but I saw it on Hoist the Colors. And I think it was just one man's opinion, but I like the thought. He said, with the actors now striking as well as the writers, the likelihood that scripted programming returns full force by the end of the year is dimming. He said, I can see a possibility where ABC, Fox, and CBS are airing more primetime games, maybe Thursday, Fridays, to fill schedules. I don't know about changing dates and things like that, but I don't know, maybe a bump up. If you're on ESPN2, you go to ESPN and that game goes to ABC or whatever. But maybe a possibility of more live football on rather than scripted TV shows. And again, this is just one man's opinion. I kind of like where his head's at, though. They're going to have to fill some of that time with some things. Now, I don't know, Morgan, if they would change schedules, change dates, things like that, especially with college, maybe pro. But I don't know. Any thoughts to that? I like where his head's at. Do you think there's anything to this if they don't get the stuff figured out?
I think you'd probably have more of a chance of changing a college game than you would a pro game.
Really?
Because I think there's so much money in the NFL and it controls where the game is shown.
Yeah.
They made, that's the big sport from a visibility standpoint on television anyway. And, Saturdays are pretty much college football games except for Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, where they got games. But I wouldn't be shocked to see some games moved if this strike lasts for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Because I was listening to something yesterday talking about the actors going on strike, that if they were to go back in next week to gear everything back up and get it in production again, still going to be another 20 to 30 days, which pushes you into your September season anyway, where you'd be starting the premiere of the new series and new shows.
Yeah.
You're pushing October, November now at the earliest, they said. So.
And yeah, Morgan, when you say easy to move a college game, I think back to the COVID times, and man, all these schedules are put out 8-10 years in advance. It's so hard to do something on the fly. Well, no, it's not. Remember BYU and Coastal just scheduled a game to put on ESPN because it was fun and awesome, and they did it like in a week or two?
Yeah, that was, if I'm not mistaken, that was a game that we had talked about. Can we schedule Brigham Young?
Right. Oh, yeah. Yep.
I think somebody had talked either to them or the powers that be. Again, I'm not 100% sure, but there was sort of a rumor going around that we might be playing Brigham Young because we already had a couple games scheduled with them. But, you can definitely change something around. It's been proven you can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, look last year when the South Florida game, East Carolina, got moved to Boca Raton or where.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They moved that game and had everything, TV production, everything moved within 4 days. So it can happen.
More good stuff, man. Enjoyed the chat. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll talk more football and whatever else with you next week.
That's it. By the way, speaking of TV, have you watched Ted Lasso yet?
Yeah. In fact, I think I've watched a couple from this season, but yeah, I've watched seasons 1 and 2 completely.
You need to watch the end of season 3. It's really good.
Okay. All right. I need to get on that. Also, Morgan, have you watched Quarterback on Netflix yet?
No, Holton told me about that. We had lunch today, and I'm going to be watching that this weekend.
I am as well. I've heard good things. I wasn't super interested when I saw, Mahomes' cousins Mariota, but all I hear is great things about it. So I'll check that out, and I'll try to finish up Ted Lasso as well.
There you go, Clipper. You guys have a great weekend. Thanks for having me on.
Do the same, Morgan. There is Morgan Ahlers joining us on the Pirate Radio live line. It is so at 4:50. Chandler said I'll be there in 30 minutes. It is 33 minutes later. And
no, he's been here for the whole Morgan thing. He's right here, Chandler.
Oh,
the Clipper is summoning you.
What is he doing, Joey?
He's doing real big boss stuff, making sales looking clean.
Big boss stuff. What's up, buddy?
Man, look,
welcome on in.
Look, I'm having to take a break from doing some sales stuff.
Keep saying stuff. I don't want. You don't need to get too detailed. You are really doing stuff, though.
Yeah, you can ask Joey. I've been in there on my laptop.
Hair looks good.
Thank you.
Hair looks good.
I feel like a brand new man.
Oh no, you said you can ask Joey. I've been in there on my laptop. You know how many things you can do on a laptop that aren't work related? Like that doesn't prove anything. I'm just saying. If we were in a
show you my work right now.
Will you pull up your browser history?
Sure.
Sure. Hey,
why not?
It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
And you know what? I said I didn't miss you. I said I didn't miss you. I lied. I missed you.
All right, I missed you too. It is crazy that when I'm not here, Clip gets so freaked out and is like, "Where's Chandler at?" It's just it's insane. But that tells me that he loves me, and I believe we're best friends, and I've said this. See, and that's the reaction I get every time when I say something about being best friends with you, and you're like, I wouldn't say we're best friends.
That's a strong.
What would you say we are, though?
First of all,
classic "What are we?" question.
Hey, what are we? Right
we didn't have a
What
thought.
are we?
Well, first of all, we're co-workers.
That is true.
Well, even before that, maybe after that, we're acquaintances.
Man, here's what I say: we're friends first, co-workers second.
And you're 100% correct. It has built into that. You are more than a coworker. You are a friend. You are. Well, here's a little trouble too, though. The age gap. You know, like, can best friends have the age gap? I know I act
that's a good point.
I act very immature and like I'm in my 20s.
Very young for a 41-year-old.
You're right. I do not act mature.
Like, I forget that you have a wife and kid.
I wear flat brim hats and wear gym shorts to work. So, and I'm not trying to be younger than I am. This is just how I'd like to be. You know what I'm saying?
And I love you for you.
Yeah.
This is getting really romantic.
I know.
I don't know if
I do feel like you feel like this relationship's a little more than I do.
I met your parents.
That is true.
I've met your parents. So I've been to your parents' house.
That is also true. How did that happen?
When I was having car trouble I don't even want to mention it.
That's right.
With the Jeep.
Oh, that's right.
You were having to take me to Winterville to the shop.
Yeah, we stopped by the folks' house.
It was on the way to the shop. Your parents lived over there, so we stopped by.
But to answer your question, no, we're not best friends.
Man, y'all giving this away today?
I really hate to tell you who is my best friend. It happened earlier today.
Joey?
Yeah. He's my best friend.
Wow.
Nah, you're
back
good.
to work now.
You're good. All right, so and you stand by this, Chandler.
Yes, absolutely. I heard y'all were giving this away earlier.
Busch Light Peach.
Busch Light Peach. Shout out Carolina Eagle Distributing. This is an awesome product, a awesome summer beer. Whether you're at the beach, maybe after yard work, or if you're like me this weekend on the golf course, a Busch Peach will be delicious in your hand.
And you know what? Let's open up the Pirate Radio Live line right now and make you a winner. You want to go caller 12, Shirley?
Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Wild Pirate Radio, awesome.
You sound just like that guy.
The Fat Anthony Kiedis and I sound a lot alike. 317-1250, caller 12, Busch Light Peach is all yours if you are caller 12 right now. We're back with more Pirate Radio Live after this.
With over 30 locations across North Carolina and southeastern Virginia, Quality Equipment is your local John Deere dealer, where you'll find everything you need for your next project. Our complete lineup of John Deere lawn and garden, agricultural, and commercial worksite equipment comes with years of experience, expertise, and dedication. We know what it takes to get it done right. Stop by today or visit us online at qualityequip.com.
There's nothing more important than protecting your family. Fire ants can cause painful allergic reactions and even death. Protect your loved ones at home where you should feel the safest. Visit pesttech@greenville.com to learn of our once-a-year treatment to guarantee you stay fire ant free. Tested and proven effective by your Eastern North Carolina exterminating professionals at Pest Tech of Greenville. Mention the crying baby for an extra 10% off.
Do you want to get rid of wrinkles, tighten and lift your skin, smooth your skin texture, erase veins and brown spots, and get rid of unwanted hair? Are you interested in Botox or filler? Contact the licensed professionals at Beauty Bar Medi-Spa on Red Banks Road in Greenville. Free consultations available. Visit us at beautybarmedispa.com. Also follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Enjoy your visit. Love your transformation. Go Pirates!
There's nothing like holding a freshly grilled Jersey Mike's cheesesteak. It's even better than holding a winning $1 million lottery ticket. For starters, Uncle Sam takes half. Then you buy some useless stuff, like a tiny suit of armor for your cat. And before you know it, your sister's cousins and Uncle Frankie come knocking on your door for handouts. Bing, bang, boom, you're back to zero. So if you want to play a winning number, order a number 17 Mike's Famous Philly. Freshly grilled right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
With over 30 locations across North Carolina and southeastern Virginia, Quality Equipment is your local John Deere dealer, where you'll find everything you need for your next project. Our complete lineup of John Deere lawn and garden, agricultural, and commercial worksite equipment comes with years of experience, expertise, and dedication. We know what it takes to get it done right. Stop by today or visit us online at qualityequip.com.
The Rick House has a delicious new lunch menu. It's Chef K's Country Luncheon, featuring the very best in country cooking, Monday through Friday from 11 to 1. Plates are just $12.50 for hamburger steak with gravy, meatloaf, baked chicken, smoked ribs, brisket, and more. Our country sides include mac and cheese, collards, corn on the cob, mashed potatoes, southern greens, and much more. Plates are just $12.50. It's Chef K's Country Luncheon, weekdays from 11 to 1 at the Rick House, 710 Red Banks Road in Greenville. Come get you some. Did you know 1 in 5 Americans use alternative wellness practices? And this number is growing, with good reason. Your CBD store empowers modern wellness through premium hemp products. We're the #1 CBD brick and mortar in the world, with products for sleep, focus, recovery, and more. Our products are the gold standard in hemp wellness. Your CBD store, Greenville, 420 East Arlington Boulevard, or call 999-5127.
Must be 18 years of age. This statement has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 8 to 10 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop.
Pirate Radio.
So you believe in pirates? Pirates aren't Santa. They did exist, they did have treasures, and they did bury it. You know, I had an eye patch when I was 6. Who didn't, my friend? Who didn't?
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Country Mart has been locally owned and operated for over 40 years and is your premier country store, serving the best cheese, biscuits, and country food around. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903, and both locations are top-of-the-line fuel stations serving Shell gas, including 93 ethanol-free high-octane gas, which is the best for boat owners. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food and your engines with great gasoline. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's Clip.
Did you say who won?
James Russell of Greenville picked up the Free Beer Friday.
Big game, James. Way to go, James. Shirley, alert your Farmvillians. Baby T is on ESPN. 76ers playing Summer League ball, and Terquavion out there in the 76ers uni.
Yeah, he dropped 20 points last night, so unfortunately they lost to the Hawks, but he has been really showing his talent on the court in the Summer League.
Now, it looks like he's playing point for him. So he'll be bringing it up the court. Sixers up 1 on the Clippers in the second quarter on the Buccaneer Music Hall scoreboard, presented by Da Buck.
Da Buck. Where's Chandler?
All right, let's...
Well, no, because I was expecting him to say the Buck.
Da Buck.
I didn't realize he wasn't sitting in the chair.
Let's run an interview from earlier this week that we had with Josh Grosz, East Carolina pitcher. We had it on Facebook and YouTube. Radio audience hasn't heard it yet. And talked to him just after being drafted by the New York Yankees, the day after, in fact. And I had a chance to catch up with Josh, and here's how it sounded. Josh, congrats, man. That's really cool to hear. Your name taken yesterday and then see New York Yankees beside it. How's that feel?
Yeah, no, thank you. It's pretty incredible. I think it's still kind of settling in with me. I think yesterday I was kind of in shock the whole day, but I mean, it feels pretty good to have that have that title, I guess.
Yeah, no doubt. So, Josh, let's talk about the draft and the process and all that stuff. So, and when I actually heard a promo recently, last time you were on, you were saying maybe I'm not a first round, a second round, a first day guy, but you said, you thought you had a good chance of hearing your name called. So what was the first day, second day like for you as you kind of sit and wait?
The first day was pretty cool. I was going to go home just to hang out with my parents just because I was curious to see who was going to go in the first 2 rounds because you kind of have an idea of like the top stars in the game. But right when I pulled out of Greenville, it started like typhooning. So I immediately turned around and just stayed back. And me, my girlfriend, and Cooch Manor and Trevor Lucido were just hanging out watching the first 2 rounds. And then that next morning, Monday morning, I got up early and drove home. The draft didn't start till 2, so Cooch actually came back up with me because he wanted to be a part of that, which I thought was pretty cool. But so we drove up there and kind of just hung out all day. I had a general idea of when I thought I would have been called if I did get called on Monday, and so kind of just in communication back and forth with my agent and kind of just seeing like what the worded on his end was, and kind of, it's a little nerve-wracking a little bit because you don't want to stare at the computer screen all day because you're going to go insane. But right. You also, don't want to. You want to make sure your phone is on. And you want to miss a call in case it's there. So there were some chances to go later that day, like round 7 through 10, and it just didn't work out with the guy. Like there was 2 teams where they called my agent. It was like, hey, if this guy ahead of Josh is off the board, is not available, we're going to go with Josh here. And it just didn't work out. The guy they wanted ahead of me was still available, so they went with him. That happened a few times, but so day 3, going into day 3 was a little, it's like, wow, this is only one more day left. Like I really hope this happens. And about half an hour before day 3 started, so probably like at 1:30, my agent gave me a call and said that the Yankees were super high on me, and if I was still on the board, they were going to take me with their 11th round pick. And so they had like one of the last picks that round, so that whole round was just like a little, just kind of anxious to see what happens. But their pick came up, and they were good on their word, and probably one of the coolest moments I've ever been a part of.
How about pre-draft, Josh? And you went out to a combine of sorts, or where they were able to scout you, look at you, work out, things like that. So did you have interaction with teams when you were out there or leading up to the draft at all?
Yeah, so when I was in Arizona, I only talked to a big part of why I wanted to go out there was to go do a bunch of interviews because they were having like, big time interviews with like, maybe a GM or a national scout director, like whatever it was. I only had one meeting. It was with the Cardinals, and I thought it was a great meeting. And so I left there after doing a bunch of medical testing and just some physical makeup evaluations, and left there. I was glad I went. It was a cool event to be a part of. But leading up to the draft, probably talked to 15, almost 20 teams maybe that reached out and just checking in to see how I was feeling, like, if everything's still good to go, and they all told me that I was on their board, and so I was super excited about that. And then, so just that kind of gave me a good intention too, or a good idea of when I would possibly go, and so that's why the later rounds on Monday were just very, kind of scratching an itch, trying to just get that thing kind of, I guess, over with because you're so anxious to see what happens.
Yeah.
But, definitely, like you said, a roller coaster of emotions throughout the whole thing.
Did you get any weird questions outside of baseball? Did they ask you like the dumb stuff we would ask you on the show? Like, are you a dog or a cat? Did you get any of that psychological stuff?
No, I don't think they were too worried about, my animal preferences.
Good. I hear those stories with the NFL Combine all the time, and I'm just curious if you ran across.
A lot of the questions they asked that were not like, outside the baseball world were about like your family life, like. Almost everybody asks, do you have a sibling or immediate relative that plays in the professional sport? I think they like that kind of bloodline thing, like if you got the genes or whatever. But almost everyone I talked to was like very, very intrigued with me being a military kid. They all, I talked, most of my meetings I had with teams, even in the fall, and even talking on the phone with scouts before the draft, was very interested in like, how was that growing up? Like, what, what's that like? And so I think that that might have played maybe a big part in what happened, but maybe not. I don't know. But that was a big focal point for a lot of guys.
Well, if anything, they know you'll be comfortable with the lifestyle of a minor league baseball player before you get to the pros, and even a pro player where you're on the road so much. I'm still fascinated by when you told us that the most time you've spent anywhere, like your entire life, was here in Greenville, right? You went around so much. So, and baseball injuries are so tricky, and health, because you're pitching in season, but even you guys are playing summer ball and fall ball, and almost never stops, right? So how about your arm right now and how you're feeling at this juncture?
I feel great. I took about a week off whenever we lost to UVA, and after that week just started playing, not like super crazy bullpens or anything. I was playing light catch 3 days a week, lifting with our strength coach 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and just trying to stay in shape and make sure my arm feels good, and my arm feels great. So I'm looking forward to getting down to Florida. I don't know what we're going to do down there. They're probably going to do a bunch of assessments, kind of like the combine, and come up with a plan on how to go forward. Yeah, so that's the next move for you, heading to Tampa, you said? Yeah, so I'm flying out of here tomorrow morning out of Raleigh to Tampa. And then that will I'll be in Tampa until the end of the minor league season, which is like the second week of September, I think.
And one Josh is not enough. Another Josh heading there. Talked to Josh Moylan last night, and said that once things are finalized, he plans on being a Yankee as well. And you still have to do the physical and that stuff, right? Before you actually sign the dotted line.
You can't really say that you signed until you've passed your physical and all that stuff. So, I'm confident that'll all go fine. But I was really pumped, and when I heard Josh was going to be there, it felt like, I lived with him for 2 years, so it kind of felt like a piece of ECU was coming with me. And awesome. So I'm really excited for us to go through this whole thing together down there.
Josh Grosz joining us. We'll be on a few more minutes. If you have a question on Facebook or YouTube, you can get that in as we talk to the now former Pirate joining us. And Josh, we talked to you before this process, and your dream, your goal is to play professional baseball. You also said you wouldn't be upset if the worst thing that happened to you was having to return to ECU. But you got that call. You were selected in the draft, and again, you said it's I don't know when does it all actually set in, but you're kind of going through that right now.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely bittersweet. I mean, I've expressed many times I love this place with all I got. ECU is, like I said, a second home, and Pirate Nation has been like a second family to me and my family, and it's definitely not easy to leave, and making that decision to forgo my last year was definitely hard, but like you said, it was a dream I've had since a kid, and I know that Pirate Nation will always be there wherever I go.
Josh, players get drafted on what they've done, but also potential and what teams see in you. So, and you'll talk to whoever you talk to down there in Florida. But how about you personally? Like, what do you want to improve upon? What do you want to show the Yankees organization once you get down to Tampa?
I think just for me and my situation, the Yankees saw me as a draft pick that had the potential to be someone a lot better than I am right now. And so, I think that I'm just as excited as they are to get in their labs and in their pitch and development program and continue to add weight, continue to add consistency in my arm action, my delivery, my thought processes, my stuff. And I think that they see it just as I do, is that the ceiling really is unlimited because I'm there's so much stuff that I can still work on.
Joey, you got a question for Josh? Hit your mic on. I didn't show you how to do that, did I? Hit the pot beside the one on the far left and turn that baby up. No, the bottom red button. Hit that baby. Yep, turn it up and talk. Now you got it.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
All right, what's up, Josh? So, as you know, you weren't the only Pirate drafted tonight. Have you talked to Tyler a little bit, and have you gotten his head about it? Because, both pitchers going to different places.
Yeah. So I called him about an hour and a half ago on my drive back down to Greenville, and he's super excited too. He deserves this 100%. He's he had, just like everyone has, some struggles throughout the year, but I think the Cardinals see in him what he sees in himself and what everyone else sees in the program, is a guy with a great arm and great stuff, and kind of in the same boat I am, where when you finally put the tools all together, it's the sky's the limit. So he's excited, he's pumped up. He's flying out, I think, tomorrow as well. They're in Jupiter. that's where the Cardinals have their stuff at. So hopefully we get to play each other, maybe next year. I don't know, like I said, what this fall looks like, but I'm sure we'll cross paths several times in the near future.
Have you had a chance to talk either on the lead up or the last couple of days to maybe Zach Agnew, CJ Mayhew, guys that have been through what you're about to go through and see what they say?
Yeah, I haven't talked on the phone with those guys yet, but they all reached out whenever they saw my name got called, and I've kept a pretty good connection with almost everyone that's come through here, and so all my former teammates and people at the next level that I played with, they're super excited and they've already reached out. So I'm definitely looking forward to picking their brain and seeing what worked for them and using it for myself.
We had Cornell Powell in studio yesterday. J.H. Rose Star went to Clemson, Kansas City Chiefs, won a Super Bowl, and talked to him about being starstruck. And Cornell was a big-time player around here. Clemson's about as high as you can go in college football, but he said when he got to Kansas City and saw Mahomes and Kelsey and Tyreek Hill, he had that starstruck feeling. Jamie asking, what player do you want to try to meet on the Yankees the most or in MLB? And we'll ask you later about those starstruck feelings, but I don't know, anybody come to mind who you'd like to meet, cross paths with?
When I think of Yankees pitching right now, everyone thinks about Garrett Cole, so I'm sure that would be, if I ever got the chance to meet him, that'd probably be a pretty cool moment to, like I said, pick his brain too and just have a conversation with him. So that's probably the guy that I'm most excited to see in person.
Also, Jamie asking, have you had a chat with Coach Godwin since being drafted, and what was that like? Yeah,
Coach Godwin called me after I didn't get selected on day 2, just trying to be there and calm down the emotions a little bit. But then immediately after I got selected yesterday, he was the first person to call and congratulate me and kind of give me that rundown. But I've talked to him several times. I was planning on going there to the field after this is over and kind of packing up my stuff out of my locker and saying one last thank you and bye to the coaches and my teammates, and then getting ready to leave.
Yeah, good stuff. Josh Grosz joining us. Both you and Josh Moylan, it made it sound like you guys were excited and maybe ready to take that next step. Mm-hmm. The tricky part is, and we talked about this with Moylan and with Coach Godwin, the way the draft is, and you have to assign scholarships. I believe July 1st is what Coach Godwin said. So you have your point of view on what you want to do. Coach Godwin also has to kind of think about it in his brain, how it's all going to work out. So did you feel like, did he kind of know that you were ready to move on and probably were going to make that move?
Yeah, we've had many talks leading up to this, and he's in a tough spot as a coach because he assigns scholarships, and because the draft got pushed back, it's hard to do that when you don't really have a full idea of who's coming back. But he told me from the jump, he assigned me a scholarship, so if things didn't work out or it wasn't the right fit, whatever it was, that I always had a spot to come back and honor that scholarship. But I don't know how he can rearrange money, if he's even allowed to do that or not. Hopefully he can, because I'm sure Josh was on some money. I'm sure Brott was on something. So that's got to be tough for him to find a way to give everyone some money in the little amount of money that we get for baseball anyway.
Speaking of money, you're not a multimillionaire at the moment, Josh, but how about the financial part of it? Are you pleased with how that worked out?
Yeah, I'm happy. Honestly, I'm more happy about the opportunity. So money's great, and it's definitely a good cushion, but at the end of the day, they care about production, not how much they paid you. So my thought process right now is just to get down there and see how much better I can get in a short amount of time.
I know you've mentioned your family. I know they're thrilled. What was their reaction like when you got selected?
They were very happy. They were sitting on the couch with me, and they had the live stream pulled up, and then on your phone you could look at the number orders of what's going on.
Yeah,
they were through the roof. I mean, my parents, they've been able to support me through this whole journey from T-ball to now, and I think they were just as excited as I was. And I texted them earlier. I was like, "This is just as much as your draft as it is mine, because I wouldn't be there without you guys." And so, even my little sister, she was super excited. She's been to God knows how many baseball games that she probably didn't want to go to. My brother texted me right away, and he was through the roof. But I got a great family, and I love those guys.
And man, Major League Baseball, the ultimate. It's great to be drafted by any team, and I am by far not a Yankees fan, but I can recognize that Yankees is baseball. Baseball is Yankees. I mean, that's the most traditional franchise in the game of baseball. Any added, special feeling to that, being drafted by that organization?
It's definitely probably one of the most worldwide known baseball organizations, if not the most. So I don't feel like an extra weight on my shoulders or anything, but I think it's a very cool thing to kind of grasp, and to say that you were drafted by the New York Yankees is a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I got some pictures of me in a T-ball jersey playing for the Yankees that will pull up. But
have you taught anybody from there, like other than your agent? Have you taught anybody from the Yankees organization?
Yeah, the guy, the area scout, his name's Stu Smothers. He actually lives like pretty much on the street where I used to live in Virginia, in Nova by DC, which is kind of cool. But he called me right after I got selected, and he was super excited. And so he's been the one in contact with like me and Moylan and some other guys about travel plans and what kind of to expect and to bring and all that stuff. So
Jamie asking, was Josh a fan of the Yankees, or did you become a fan yesterday?
I've never really had a favorite team. I've never like disliked the Yankees. I'm super excited that I get to be a part of this. So I've always admired. They have some of the best players in the world. So even if you don't like them, I don't know how you can't admire them. But I've never been like a diehard fan. But I am now. So
yeah, and you feel like you look pretty good in pinstripes. You guys have to wear those.
I think I look good in the ECU pinstripes.
You realize now, if you make it to the big show, you're gonna have to get rid of the face ring.
I gotta get rid of that. I think tonight.
Wow!
I don't think anyone's allowed to have
something through all the affiliates.
I could be wrong, but I don't want to be that guy that shows up like and everyone else is standing like an idiot. So I was planning on just straight razoring it off tonight.
Good point, Joey. That's right.
Take some years off my life.
There you go. The clean baby face Josh Grosz coming to Tampa.
Freshman Josh.
To a field near you. Good stuff. All right, couple more minutes left. You guys want to get something in? We're talking to Josh Grosz here live on Facebook and YouTube. We'll air this on our Pirate Radio live show coming up later in the week. But I don't know, Josh. First of all, I would like to say we really enjoyed having you on this year. I love your personality. And we talk baseball, but we also try to get people to know you as a person and have some fun with you. So I think you were perfect for what we wanted to do here at Pirate Radio, mix the baseball with the real life aspect of it. So awesome job by you there, just being yourself, really.
Yeah, no, I had a blast all year, and I'm pretty sure the other guys did too. So I would do it again in a heartbeat. So, I had a really good time connecting with you all year.
And we had yourself, we had Josh Mullen, we had Lane Hoover, who was playing some pro baseball the last couple weeks.
The Yeehaws?
The Y'alls.
The Y'alls.
Yeah.
Y'alls.
How about that?
He's playing with Ben Terwilliger, too. They're on the same team.
Ben Terwilliger's on that team? I had no idea. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So great to see your former teammate there.
Yeah, that was he. When was this? Maybe 2 weeks ago. He came down. Him and Spivey and Coach and Sailor all had a nice dinner with Coach Godwin. He took him out to eat, and then he met up with me and Cooch Manor and Trevor at I think it was just me and Cooch Manor at Sup Dogs, and he broke the news, and he was like, "I'm leaving tomorrow morning to go to I think it was Ohio." I'm not sure where he said he was going.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's why I think they were playing a game there, and so Hoover is baseball. So I don't know what Hoover looks like not in a uniform. So I know he's super happy, and I think he's been playing pretty well. I've trying to kept up with all the Twitter stuff. So
how about Garrett and Carter Spivey? You talked to those guys lately. What are they up to right now?
Yeah, I talked to those guys a lot. I don't know. I know that they're both. I'm hoping that they are able to work out a free agent deal today before 5 o'clock, and they both deserve it. I mean, Spivey is a one-of-a-kind guy that's walked through these doors. He's came in and struggled more than anyone I've ever played with, and flipped the switch and was one of the best pitchers I've played with. And so he definitely deserves a shot. And if it's not today, then I'm confident that he's driven enough where he's going to continue to pursue that. And Sailor's the same way. Sailor, his career here has been pretty spectacular. So, if a team is able to score either one of those guys, they're getting a steal.
And I think we've beaten the sandwich thing to death at this point, but did have a question on YouTube. Did the sandwich ever come up in any of your interviews with teams?
No, but if you go on MLB, like the draft, like the top 230 prospects, 250 prospects, if you go under my name on there, they give like a brief like synopsis of your career. And like, I want to say one of the first 2 lines is, you know, Josh Grosz became famous for feeding a hot dog to his teammate. But
Yeah,
if you go up a little bit.
If you look up your name on Twitter as well, on the latest.
If you type in MLB draft prospects.
Okay.
123.
Let's see. Let's just add prospects here.
There's a Yankees like prospect Twitter.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Is it on there?
And they tweeted about you recently. Let me see what they said.
Oh yeah, click on that. It's in that.
All right. Let's see. We got Josh. Got a little. Looks like a video.
There should be like a little.
Yeah. So it says Yankees prospect watch. They said that you were selected, 342nd pick. He's most known for being ejected last season for feeding his teammate. They got it wrong, actually. Feeding his teammate a PB&J sandwich after a home run.
I mean, nobody can get the story straight.
The right answer.
Yeah, really. You got to go on New York radio and set the record straight. But yeah, do you want that wiped from your record, or are you okay with it?
I think it's
it adds a little.
It adds some character in there.
No doubt. All right.
Some extra adversity I had to go through.
That's right.
College career.
Ejected in a conference tournament. Josh, awesome stuff. We wish you the best of luck, man, and we know you're gonna succeed in baseball and in life, and we'll keep in touch. Let's catch up sometime whenever all this is over with, and we wish you the best of luck, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me on the whole season.
Our conversation with Josh Grosz, former Pirate pitcher, now with the New York Yankees organization. We'll take a break, come back, get ready to wrap it up, and close it out with me and Chandler showing great respect to our awesome sponsors here at Pirate Radio. Back with you to wrap it up after this.
The Beach Tavern Bar and Grill has been the place to be for over 50 years. BT's is the best local sports bar in the heart of Atlantic Beach. Located on West Fort Macon Road across from Pacific, BT's has daily food specials, a late night menu, cold beer, pool, darts, and live entertainment for everyone to enjoy. Make it a summer to remember at the Beach Tavern Bar and Grill. Follow BT's on Facebook and Instagram for all the daily specials and events. BT's, the place for fun in Atlantic Beach this summer.
Hey Pirate Nation, Lindsay Gray here with Carolina Caliber. In 1960, my granddaddy started his firearm business right here in Eastern NC. Still family owned and operated, we have the area's largest selection for outdoor shooting sports and accessories and are one of the nation's top firearm dealers. At Carolina Caliber, we have everything you need from hunting, home defense, and personal protection, including a wide variety for ladies and youth. We buy, sell, and trade. It's a time-honored tradition. Visit us at Carolina Caliber on Fire Tower Road in Winterville.
The Crossover Kid is back. Enjoy a night out at Oriole Park at Camden Yards on Saturday, July 15th when the Orioles play the Miami Marlins at 7:05. Be one of the first 25,000 fans 15 and over to receive an Orioles soccer jersey presented by Pepsi Zero Sugar. And arrive early for Early Bird Saturdays. Gates open 2 hours prior to the first pitch for happy hour, live music, and more. A variety of ticket options are available. Buy yours now at Orioles.com/tickets.
You know, texting while driving is dangerous. That's not new information. Yet most people admit to doing it anyway. Drivers are 23 times more likely to be involved in a car accident while texting. Know the facts and wait to text. The danger is real and it applies to you. Auto Owners Insurance, the no problem people. Information provided by Virginia Tech Transportation Institute.
This is Norm Bryant with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates.
Fifth Street Hardware and Tap Room is serving up the best lunch in town with a different special every day. Come sit on the patio and enjoy wonderful weather with lunch specials for only $9. Fifth Street Hardware and Tap Room is open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch and dinner. Thirsty? Stop in for a cold beer with over 40 taps to choose from. Fifth Street Hardware and Tap Room, next to the State Theater in downtown Greenville. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Scott Harris with RE/MAX Preferred Realty. I've been in Greenville over 25 years. I'm a proud graduate of ECU. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, then give me a call today and let me help make your real estate process fun and easy. I keep it simple and explain the process every step of the way. My goals are your goals. There are no long-term contracts, and you always deal with me from start to finish. The right home starts with the right agent. Call me, Scott Harris, at 347-1857. Go Pirates!
I'm Donald Stocks, owner of Pip Marketing Signs Print. We are your one-stop shop for just about anything printed. If we're not your go-to printer, please give us a call at 355-1636. We have over 80 5-star Google reviews and want you to be our next more than satisfied and well-pleased customer. Check us out at growatpip.com or stop in to see us at 3185 Mosley Drive in Greenville. Pip, where business goes to grow.
For years, Callie Ann Phelps has been singing about Phelps Chevrolet.
Phelps Chevrolet is the one for you. Low prices, service too. See the big dealer right away. Carolina's finest, Phelps Chevrolet.
And you'll agree with what Skylar Phelps has to say.
Nobody beats Phelps Chevrolet's prices. Nobody.
The name you can depend on. Phelps Chevrolet.
Get you on.
Pirate Radio.
Here it is, a first down. Pirates.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Taking a quick look at your stock market, the Dow was up 113 points and closed at 34,509. NASDAQ was down 24 at 14,113, and the S&P was down 4 points at 4,505. That's your Wells Fargo Advisors financial report. For a personal look into investing, call Wells Fargo Advisors today at 756-6900 in Greenville. Wells Fargo Advisors LLC, member SIPC. Now back to the show. Here's Clip.
All right, getting ready to wrap it up, but before we do, we have to thank some of our awesome advertisers here at Pirate Radio. Shirley.
Brown and Wood.
Two iconic last names in sports: Jim Brown,
Kerry Wood,
Brown and Wood.
Exactly.
Twisted Tea.
Oh my gosh, delicious.
I love tea.
Do you like lemonade? Do you like tea?
Do you like to get twisted?
Do you like to get twisted a little bit? Well, there's this thing called Twisted Tea that's really delicious. And really
go drink some.
Go drink some today, please, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Wood Ducks.
Charge! Where can you hear that? At the Wood Ducks game tonight.
I wish I could go to a stadium that was historic.
I wish I can go to a baseball game maybe at least 30 minutes away, 25 minutes away.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
There's a team in Kinston.
Yeah, the Down East Wood Ducks.
The Down East Wood Ducks. Go Woodies.
Pitt County Schools.
I need education.
I'm a proud product of the Pitt County school system. W.H. Robinson, A.G. Cox, D.H. Conley. Look how I turned out. You want your kid to turn out like me? Pitt County Schools is for you.
Chico's.
Went there for lunch today. By the way, everybody talks about the Hungry Pirate, which is good. Everybody talks about the tacos, which is good. Everybody talks about the burritos, which is good. I have what they call the Mexican fingers, which is chicken tenders and buffalo sauce.
Why you gotta look at me when you say this order?
That's what they call it. That's what they call it.
I wanted somebody to look at to say, okay, Mexican fingers.
Get it, go there and say, I want the Mexican fingers because Chandler Honeycutt told me so. It is buffalo chicken tenders. It's not just your grandfather's buffalo chicken tenders. It is the best in town. It's delicious.
If you go to Tijuana, don't ask for the Mexican fingers. But at Chico's, do it.
Do it.
University Sportswear.
I need some more shirts.
I need some swag. Hey, Joey, I need some drip.
I've got an event coming up, and I need some shirts to promote it. I need some hats to wear. I need some pins with my business on it. I wonder who can do that.
University Sportswear.
That's it, guys.
Good job, Chan. Hey, great show today.
Thank you.
You really killed it these last 2 minutes. Joey, awesome work. Shirley, fantastic. Y'all, my friends here, have a great weekend. Y'all, my friends out there, have a great weekend. And we'll be back with you Monday at 3 o'clock for an all-new edition of Pirate Radio Live, catching you up on the weekend. Also, talking Navy football with our friend Pete Medhurst, play-by-play voice of the midshipmen. We'll talk to you then. Have a great weekend. Jeff Charles, take us out of here.
Have a great night, Eastern Carolina.
Thanks for listening to Pirate Radio Live, an exclusive presentation of the